Hello and welcome to our fortnightly live stream here on YouTube, and we thank everybody that joins us for it, whether you're catching up. So remember, if you are catching up, you can't play along with Gary's Swap Shop, or you're watching live, and we'll do Gary's Swap Shop along with the register once we've kicked off the show. But without thanking the following people, this show would not be made possible. So I'm going to bring it in, as I always do, and see if I can catch Gordon out on some of these things. We'd like to thank the friends at Wago. We'd like to thank our fantastic friends at BG Lasico, the Lasico group, who made me cry today, and we'll probably pick that up. If we don't pick it up before, we'll pick it up in the plug and socket. We'd like to thank our great friends at Marshall Tufflex, who make the 3-compartmented trunking, which I've been struggling to say for some time. We'd like to also thank, never remember.
Luden Palazzoli.
Luden Palazzoli?
Yeah, Doncaster Cables.
Doncaster Cables as well. Without those people, we cannot bring you these live streams fortnightly, and Gordon's been paying attention. He's also gave himself a second TV over there so we can actually see what I'm putting up as a live output. But it seems that we're not alone, Gordon, here. We might have thanked our wonderful sponsors, but we're not alone, are we?
We've got some guests and Richard, probably very familiar to people, because he sells things to for the installation side, and he has been on some television program. We'll get on the famous television programs, I'm sure, later on. So everyone, there's Richard Brook. Richard.
Evening, everybody. Good to be here. Thank you.
What's your catchphrase?
For that reason, I'm in.
Yep. And we've also got Paul has been on the channel before because he's also done the Electricians Challenge. He was also a judge in our eFIXX Awards. So if you didn't win, you can address your complaint to Paul. It was probably his fault. But Paul's also behind Doc Store, and we'll be talking about, he obviously distribute lots of regulations, guidebooks, documentation.
Bespoke documentation, bespoke labelling, you name it, we can source it for you with your branding on it.
Okay, so it all sounds pretty exciting. So for us, it's amazing because we've got two guests again. We've done this for a few live streams now. We're going to continue to see how many times we can do it in the coming weeks, aren't we, as we move forward. But we've been busy, Gordon. Now, we've been throwing the odd grey mail and stale out, so that brings you back into the conversation, doesn't it, Gordon? Yeah, okay. So we've been travelling around the country going to different events. Okay, and which one would you like to start at?
We started at the lecture last week, so it was great to see lots of viewers there. We met, obviously for us it's great to put faces to names or YouTube names and trying to figure out actually who they are, if that's their real name or not. So yeah, we met loads of people there. That was some great feedback. We had a great time at the show. We wandered around. We found some new products, didn't we? Yeah,
we did. We did find some new products. And that links in quite nicely to one of Paul Elcock's most famous phrases, wasn't it? One that endeared himself to his loved one, wasn't it? When he was suggesting about the quality of a base of tea beverage. Yes,
suggested he got better tea
here. We're going to leave this one down,
Paul, you don't need to chip in just yet. So we'll say that again, Gordon, because I didn't quite catch all of that.
He suggested that we made better tea than his wife.
We did. We did. And how many years has his wife been practicing making tea?
A long time.
I think it was over 20 years, and she hadn't made a decent cuppa.
Yeah.
So you found something you think might be able to help Paul Copping in his impending divorce.
Yeah, well, clearly, yeah, the relationship's on the ropes. So while we're at Alex, we found this Wi-Fi enabled kettle. Can you believe it? So this is a kettle. You can set the temperature. You can have a keep warm mode, which would be great down here as well, actually, for various reasons. You can tell how full it is remotely. You can tell Alexa to boil a kettle.
But is it battery
powered? Wow, Alexa not being Paul's new girlfriend, though, is it, Alexa? Yeah. Okay, so let's have a quick look here.
So we've got this so this is linked to home. I believe they do other smart enabled devices as well, which I'm sure we can take a look at. But obviously the common sense ones, the thermostat, the cameras and things like that. We don't want that. We've done that before. Let's have the kettle.
Is it better than the battery powered kettle from one manufacturer?
No, that was there as well.
We had a sniff around that as well. They've actually loaded one of them now with 2 batteries.
So this one's mains operated?
Yes. This one is mains operated, but we have got a power hook. We thought we could try it with a power hook.
So that means we can say, hey, Alexa, put on the kettle, can't we? Is that what we're thinking? Yeah, so we can say that. So, yeah, Paul, you won't be alone anymore, you and Alexa.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
We'll be fine. So we found that wandering around. What else did we think was good at the Alex show?
New tool from Wago. So not Wago.
Vargo.
No.
New tool
from WeHa. Sorry, WeHa. The Pocket Max. So that was the the pop-up screwdriver. Ideal for if you're going on holiday. And
Yeah.
obviously, when we're on holiday, we always like to have a cheeky look in the local consumer units or behind the sockets just to check on the wiring. It comes with 4 heads in a nice compact packet that you can put in your toiletry bag.
It
Come
was.
at a very good price.
It was immensely
We don't know the price yet.
aspirational. I would suggest that tool. You pick it up, tons of tactile. Most WeHard tools are obviously a magnetic connecting base on it as well. Absolutely love that one, and hopefully we'll be getting a full review of that coming shortly in the coming weeks. I would suggest with that one, wouldn't we? So that was really good.
So that was the Elect Show.
It was.
And that's what we call, I'm not saying the old world, but it was traditional electrical show. All the bits were like, sockets, switches and tools and things like that. Then we went down to Fully Charged Live, which, that was a busy show. I mean, that was, I have to thank Nick Graham, who pestered us to go there.
Yeah, and we nearly didn't, and you logged in and I didn't, and I was like a bit apprehensive.
So
It was
we'll
brilliant.
go along to Fully Charged Live because obviously it is an electric car show, but there's loads of energy stuff there. There's like loads of EV chargers. They're like wildebeest round a pond drinking the EV energy, and we absolutely met loads of viewers down there as well. Yeah. It was fantastic to see people who were on that EV journey. Meet some of the charge point manufacturers who went there, and what a great show that was.
Yeah, a little bit of contrast there, wasn't it? So we're saying traditional, and I don't mind the word traditional when I think of an elect show, but this felt young, vibrant, doesn't it? Tons of people that are enthusiastic about it, and it felt like interconnected stands. Really, everybody was in the same journey, same space, and wanted to obviously electrify the world. And it was really good to be there. Now we've got some highlights, and we voiced these over so we can see us just quickly moving around Fully Charged Live. So let's bring that in next. DPD delivered me to Fully Charged Live.
Well, that's a first, getting there on time. Here's a massive portable DC charger, and that's some of these sort of innovations we're seeing here. It's not a battery, it's hooked up to a temporary supply so you can charge on site at events.
And they did use it to charge the buses at the event we were at. What's this then, Gordon?
So this looks like a petrol pump, but it is the petrol pump equivalent of a EV charger. So you have massive installations for charging buses. So we're talking megawatts, but the way it handled the power is really clever. Hopefully we'll get to see more of that soon.
And next up, ZapTech Pro, we've done a review on the channel for, but this is their domestic one. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. And I'll let you into a little secret. That unit there is both single and 3-phase. Look how tiny it is.
Really compact. Can't wait to see that. But someone we did see is Jim Rugg from Replenish. What is he, Gary?
Nice Bloke. Now, I thought his surname was Nice Bloke. It comes to as a bit of a shock that he's got a different name than Nice Bloke, because everyone you say Replenish and they say Jim, they say Nice Bloke.
Yeah, and if you're not dealing with Replenish, they basically have almost everything you would ever need to install EV chargers, including these.
Oh, these are the power pole of the EV world, I would suggest. An adjustable jack-up, maybe for those concrete car parks, aren't they?
Yeah, so we've looked at the other version of this from EV Tower for a pedestal mount, but now they've got it for car parks. And then coupled in there, we also found a new version of the EV block.
That looks a lot smaller. That looks like it might be placed for the residential sector, and it's agnostic because it works with the EV Tower as well, doesn't it? Talking of little things, that's little Big T, isn't it?
Yeah, Trevor, so always desperate to get on camera to promote his product. Again, we're talking about tonight products designed by electricians for electricians.
Okay, and then another little innovation they had in there. We know how difficult it is to get large steel armors into some of these 3-phase EV chargers, but actually you've got the ability to change cables here to a more flexible one, haven't you?
Yeah, and then somebody you've been desperate to meet for a long time, Gary.
Yeah, Jordan's helped me and my daughter out massively. Very kind personal donation to my daughter's prosthetic arm fund, and it was great to thank her in person. We will be going to see her with my daughter when that arm comes, and that's hopefully later on this year. But they've got some exciting news as well, haven't they?
They have, yes. So now in the My Energy Zappy, the hub is now integrated within the product, so you can have direct to Wi-Fi or hardwired Ethernet connection to it, which I know a lot of people have been waiting for.
I waited for this moment. I did a bit of a fanboy. This is Martin Lee from EV News Daily, the only podcast I listen to apart from our one, and we'll get to that at some point this evening as well. And it was great to spend some time with Martin. He's got a brilliant end catchphrase that you'll hear tonight on the live stream.
And another regular to the channel in terms of product, this is the Easy EV charger. We get to meet Effie, who's the UK country manager, and she told us about the Easy One, which has some great new features.
Yeah, it does. They've put the pen fault protection into their unit now, so you haven't got to do it out the mains end. It's built in.
Yeah, and finally, what a classic car, but this is a classic car with the difference it has been converted to electric, and there's a lot of this going on. Interesting to get your thoughts about this. I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea if you're building a car up from the ground, because it needs a full restore, but not if it's already in good nick. Also gave you your first opportunity to get into the comments there with that Porsche. So we've had a bit of a discussion about it. You've won me round slightly on that. Taking a classic car and making it EV obviously means that that car can be used for a longer period of time. It's certainly greener once you made that conversion. But I think if you had a mint Porsche 911 that you probably drove twice a year, I'm not sure I want to spend any money converting it when you get the sound of that petrol engine, okay? Yeah. But you won me round with another example of that, didn't you, Gordon?
I mean, there's loads of big market now, people converting classic cars to battery power. There's a programme on television, I don't know if you watched one, someone converted a Beetle.
Yep.
And but they said it wasn't worth doing on a Beetle, it was 36 grand.
Right.
So
okay.
I'm not converting my beach buggy.
You're not converting?
No.
Why not?
No.
We'll convert.
Love the sound of that flat four.
But if you take a car that you've pulled it out of a shed somewhere and it's absolute relic and you want to bring it back to life, I totally can see the need to put a battery in it then, because you're bringing it back to life from that position. But if you had a classic car collection, I think it should stay in its original form. You wouldn't take a vintage Star Wars figure and paint it different coloured boots on it, would you? Really? That would wreck the figure.
I mean, you look at some of these cars, like the engine. If the engine's ruined and
I
all the bits,
agree.
and the brakes,
Yep.
you get brakes at work and things like that when you convert it.
Yeah,
so
you won me over to a certain degree, but I wouldn't take something I fell in love with.
Making it different to everybody else's, though, isn't it? If it's a classic car and you want to differentiate yourself from another 911, it's a way of attracting attention.
Oh, okay,
I don't think Gary's Astral never make classic car status, so you don't have to worry about that expense, Gary.
I agree with you, guess. Yeah, I agree with you, Paul. Yeah, no. So it stands out. You go to that show and your car doesn't make the lovely roar of a Porsche 911. It just purrs like a battery. And we will be talking about battery cars because I think there is another small issue with the world of Tesla, isn't there, to bring up at some point this evening?
Later.
We'll bring that one up later. So, brilliant. So let's go back to the shows. Brilliant. And from my point of view, I know it was in there because we voiced it over. Massive thanks to the family at My Energy. They've been very supportive of my family through the difficult period that we've had for 2 years. So I finally got to thank Jordan face to face. That was a great moment as well. But I think we've been on long enough now, Gordon. I think it's your time to rush through the register.
I will rush through the register. So, starting from the top, it is Nicholas Ramo, aka the full Ramo. 7up Sam, we've got UK Spark. I think he's coming up a little bit later on as he takes on the Electricians Challenge. We've got, as ever, Big Ash Electrics, Sean the Spark, Carl Robinson, Stokey Sparky, Billy Torrey up there in Scotland, Aaron, and we assume that is above Aaron, D-Lec, or DEC Electrical, it needs a bigger YouTube thing there, that's tough to read on the small screen, but we have got his sticker on the bench over there, and he does some great stitches of our stuff on TikTok. Early Lursland is fun, so that's Mrs. Hayes, That Tool Guy, Torchy, Sparky 400T, Beth Electrical. Do we see James's bum tonight? Well, we'll have to see. Sean Dempsey, as ever, Ren Skylark, Tony Martin, we saw him last week across at Alex, works with Weha. He's supposed to be retired, but he came back just for that show. Brian Hewitt, MB Electrical, James Bailey, Richard Gaunt, who's actually just up there as well, but he's pretending he's at home. Alfie Curran, Kevin Osborne, who we haven't seen on for a while, I don't think. Craig Walder,
Big Ash.
James Kane, Alfie Curran, we've done Big Ash.
Have you?
He's trying to chip in on the register. Yeah? Paul Tipton, Terry Moore, Ed Price, Heath, Winter Sky, a 136, Crumpers, Darren Martin, Abator Jack, Gavin Geeney, out in Ireland, I think I'm right there. Orzo, Henny Visor, assuming that's Visor, we'll not say Wiser. R. Davis Electrical, Andrew Brown, person you never remember met, but you spent talking for hours. Christastic 100, Lucas Taylor, Gadget Man 36, I think Rex Hook. I think that's it.
We apologise if we missed anyone out on that list, but so thank you very much for seeing so many names that we've see every fortnight, which is fantastic. And Ed Price, I'm imagining his college course is nearly finished. Now he asked me for something, whether I could find something, and I have that something at home, but he's going to lend me back my fishing rods and my Wi-Fi ferret. And he said to me when I messaged him, he said, I've moved to Desborough. I want to say, I don't care where you live, because I still live in Sharnbrook, and if you want the thing that you asked me for, which sits in my kitchen, I've got a funny feeling you might find those rods and Wi-Fi for it in your vehicle when you drive from where you live now, which is in Desborough, to where I live in Sharnbrook. So hopefully he'll be over very shortly. So
A bit of DIY coming up, Gary.
Yes, I think there's a series called Gary Goes Green. I don't know whether I'm ready for it, but I'm going to have a go. So yeah, so watch out for that series when it comes up. So I've got some ducks to get in a line in order to get that one ready. So that's all good. So we've done the register, so we're all ready. So that means it's time for Gary's Swap Shop. So as always, at this time we need a keyword or a key phrase. So we've managed to pick up a good friend of ours, didn't we?
We did.
Simon Smith, and he's also known as
the Heat Pump King.
I think it's Captain Heat
Captain
Pump.
Heat Pump.
That's what we wrote on the whiteboard. I
King.
gave you it's Captain Heat Pump. Yeah, okay. Not the Renewables King, as he now been christened. So we asked him for our keyword, and this is for Gary's Swap Shop. Remember, you don't know what you got to do yet, but let's hear what Gary's Swap Shop keyword is.
For Gary's Swap Shop, this week's keyword is energy security.
Okay. What was his keyword then, Gordon?
It was energy security.
It was energy security. I just love it when you can play along with it. Energy security. So I want to play along for Gary's Swap Shop. That's the keyword. You've got the bags down your side, have you? You've moved them, have you?
I've moved them. So
yeah, okay, let's have a look what I'm
have a
going to
rummage
be
in there,
giving
Richard.
you.
Go on.
What we got?
So let's have a look. So what have we got in the bag?
Got me. What's that? There we go. Oh, eddy current hat. Oh, that looked nice with my t-shirt, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's got all the gear.
Yeah, what else we got in there? Oh, is it a wee hat? Oh, wee hat bottle opener.
Okay, yeah, bottle opener. Yeah.
What else we got? Whoa. Oh, we've got a safe isolation kit.
We have, yeah. Hopefully
Every electrician should have one. Safe isolation. What else we got? A pack of Tic Tacs.
Okay.
EV block Tic Tacs.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Gary's Swap Shop this week. We've not been doing too well recently, have we, Gordon, with the Swap Shop?
No, must be making them too difficult. We asked people to send in connector blocks. We didn't get any of them. I think
No, we didn't.
tonight, Gary. Conduit bush.
Conduit bush.
Brass or plastic.
Brass or plastic, okay, that's what we're going to ask for if you want to play along. You'll only know at the very end, and we've had a double winner, didn't we? Because last time out, we pulled out somebody who'd won previously.
Torchy, yeah. That tool guy.
No, we pulled somebody else out. Bickerton.
Oh, Bickerton, yeah,
Tom
but he- I
Bickerton,
think
he
he
won
won by the
again.
end.
He got randomly pulled out because we don't pull him out. We might have to tonight. And that's twice he's been pulled out randomly. And that's twice he hasn't got to the end of the show. So at the very end of the show, before we go into the plug and socket, we will announce all the winners, including the GT time. And there's some different rules on the GT time. And we're not asking for that time just yet, so wait for that section to come up. So if you want to play along, you've got to put the following phrase into the comments. What's the phrase then, Gordon?
It's energy security.
It is energy
I am
security.
reading the comments, Gordon. He's trying to catch me out. I'll see what he does.
Energy security, if you want to play along. If we pull your name out at the end, there'll be two people, and you send us a bush. Okay, and it can be a brass one or a plastic one. To here at Lineside Studios, how do we find the address, Gordon?
You find it in the description below. There's a Get Involved tab. If you go down there and just fill in the form, if you win time, but if you've got to send us something, yeah, you'll find the address in there.
You'll find the address in there. We're at Lineside Studios here in Skipton, Engine Shed Lane, BD23 1TB. But you must also leave your address inside the envelope with a lovely letter saying that I am also your favourite member of the eFIXX team, and not grey, male, and stale, which means it's your bit then, Gordon, is it? Yeah.
Backfires on you all the time.
It does. Everybody says how much they like you.
I get to read the letters.
Yeah, when we send them out to people with the same surname as you, it always becomes a little bit mindful. Right, okay, so I think it's now time, okay, to where are we going next, Gordon? We've done the register. Shall we go over to the news at Penn?
Yeah, time to catch up with the news at Penn.
So yeah, but the problem is, Richard, you won't be able to see it or hear. You'll be able to see it, you won't be able to hear it. So we'll just show you what we've got. So we've got another camera now. So we'll look at Richard. So Richard can watch himself on the big screen there. Okay. Anyone seen the Goonies?
Wait till that camera goes off. Hey, you guys. Hey, you're going to get it, Gary.
Oh dear. And he plays rugby, and he's done press ups before we start. Let's start with the news at Penn. Here we go.
Electricity prices in Ireland among highest in Europe. Major Midlands Lighting Company reduce waste. eFIXX attend all the shows. National Paper gives electrical advice for DIYers. Dumbarton Sparky installs alarms for free. This is the eFIXX News at Penn. Good evening. The Irish Mirror has reported that electricity prices in Ireland among the highest in the EU, reaching 4th position in the rankings and paying 26% more than the average for the European Union at a whopping €29.74 per 100 kilowatt hours. The only countries paying more, and therefore making it into the top 3, you know, like it's some kind of chart you want to be the top of, were Belgium in third at €29.94, Germany at €32.34, and Denmark topping out at €34.48. Never mind Denmark, you'll always have Lego. That's not sarcasm, by the way. I genuinely hope you take great comfort from that. At the other end of the scale is Hungary, paying a mere €10 per 100 kilowatt hours, and has also seen no price rise in the second half of last year, as in both Hungary and Slovakia, the price of electricity is regulated. I'm going to do some calculations because with the cost of electricity in the UK right now, it might actually be economically viable to drive an EV over to Hungary, charge it up, bring it back, and then use the leftover charge to make a brew. I'll keep you posted. Our second story relates to a report from Midlands lighting manufacturer Tamlight that they have eliminated 51 tonnes of plastic waste from their operations over the last 4 years. Just to give that figure some context, this is the equivalent of well over 1 million plastic shopping bags. And just to give that some context, 1 million plastic shopping bags is about the amount I swear we have in our car boot at any given moment. And yet, can I ever remember to take one into the supermarket when I go? No, I cannot. I either end up trying to carry it all in my hands like the supernormal guy in the maths problems who buys 52 apples or whatever, or I have to buy yet another plaggy bag to volley onto the pile. I think I'm probably increasing plastic wastage at about the same rate that Tamlight are reducing it. Tamlight have also reduced their use of new plastic in manufacturing by 80%, which is a very impressive figure. It's all part of their award-winning circular economy strategy, and we at eFIXX feel that should be applauded. In our next story, we catch up with Gary and Gordon as they trot from one end of the country to the other in a bid for eFIXX to attend all the shows. Watch out for them at the Festival of Quilts from the 18th to the 21st of August at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham. Festival of Quilts, Europe's ultimate quilting destination. It's a thing. Last Thursday, they attended the Elect show in Harrogate as invited by Weeha, along with their entourage and supporting members of the team, Joe, Richard and Steve. While they were there, they picked out highlights of the show, bringing you a condensed review of items you may have missed along the way. Duties completed, the team hot-footed it down to the Fully Charged show in Farnborough to see what's both trending and on the horizon for all things EV and renewable in the increasingly electrified world we live in. Keep an eye on our YouTube channel to see videos covering highlights of both events. And if you're attending either the UK Construction Week show or Grand Designs Live at the Excel in London this week, keep your eyes peeled for eFIXX representatives at both. Next up is a deeply troubling article featured in the Metro on their website in an article titled A Beginner's Guide to Electrical Wires and How to Navigate Them in DIY. Advice was given on how to get to grips with electrical work in the home and includes helpful information such as Part P of the UK building regulations make it illegal to carry out DIY electrics in the bathroom or kitchen, and the live wire is brown, neutral is blue, and earth is green and yellow. Well, 1 out of 3 isn't bad, and all the best to you if you happen to come across a red, black, yellow or grey conductor. In the interest of balance, it does go on to urge the reader to bear in mind that to complete electrical works, you must comply with electrical regulations, without even hinting at what those electrical regulations might consist of. And also recommends that it's always wise to use a reputable and qualified electrician to undertake any major electrical work. In fairness, the article probably should have consisted of that one sentence, but, you know, with the word major removed. And finally, in the heartwarming news we put at the end of the reel to make you feel like the world isn't such a dystopian nightmare after all, the Dumbarton Reporter has featured a story on electrician Michael Devoy, who works for Alger Electrics and Alarms Limited, and who has been installing free smoke alarms for vulnerable people. The grateful recipients of these alarms have been identified by the charity Care and Repair Scotland, and Mr Devoy has been carrying out the work as part of the Alarms Ambassadors campaign, and is quoted as saying, "We are only too happy to assist with the campaign, which will help to highlight the importance of domestic alarms in keeping people safe and reducing fire deaths across Scotland. Having compliant alarms installed by professional qualified electricians will contribute towards peace of mind for residents, and Alger Electrics and Alarms Limited is delighted to be able to help some of the most vulnerable people in our society." What an absolute gent. Maybe the kind of person and or business who should be nominated for an eFIXX award when the time rolls around. Just saying. I've been Joe Robinson, and this has been the eFIXX News at Penn. Good night.
Absolutely brilliant as always. The news at Penn, he's a fantastic bloke, and he's also got himself another news slot, something brand new to eFIXX. What's he got, Gordon?
There is. We're now doing Electrical News Weekly, which is a weekly podcast, but also is available on YouTube. You can see it there, but it's available on all popular podcasting platforms, so on Amazon, on Apple, on TuneIn, on Spotify. It's everywhere, so you can listen in the car. There's no excuse, Richard. You can listen.
I've watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Well, not when you're driving, no.
No.
But it's so if you it's in the link in the description below. It's electrical news at .efix.co.uk. You can find that there, and that's every Monday. We'll try to get that out. It's a little bit more serious than that. There might be some useful product buried, little product nuggets in there and things like that.
Yeah, and what we do is we go through all the electrical news so you don't have to, and bring it to you on a Monday morning. So we've sifted through all those great stories, and Joe brings them to you in his usual fantastic way. So hats off to Joe for taking that one for the team. He wanted to do podcasts, and now he's up and running doing those. So yeah, brilliant. Make sure you check that out. We'll spread it across social media, so you can pick the links up if you don't go straight to your podcasting platform.
And it's 10 minutes maximum. It's not like us windbags blithering on for hours. And it's
I don't see us
snappy.
doing 2 hours.
No.
We
we don't know. We have got Richard here.
Well, yeah.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, so let's talk about a guest, and we start off with Paul. So in our eFIXX journey, we've liked to find people that obviously champion our industry, find a niche within that industry and work their way through. Now, Paul, you've done something like that for us. You've started a business up in a very difficult time as well. You started yours up in COVID like ourselves, didn't you?
Yeah, so February 2021. I think that's 9 years at a large certification organisation.
I thought you worked at the NIC.
Well, yeah.
Oh, you worked somewhere else, did you? Oh, right, okay.
I used to run their direct shop for those guys. Worked with some great colleagues in there that produced some technical publications who found themselves in the same boat as us. But it was all very much driven by BS 7671, and
Right.
as we know within the electrical industry, we do cover across a number of different standards and the day-to-day installations.
Yeah.
And when we found ourselves at the end of the NIC journey, we said, well, what is there being said about domestic smoke alarms? What is there being said about all these other fire alarm standards? Is there something there that you guys can come to me and give DocStore something that's a little bit different in the industry?
Right.
And one of the great colleagues, 15 years with the NIC writing their books, Tim Benstead, sits on a lot of the committees with JPEL 64 and FSH 12. And we came up with basically an on-site guide to Grade D fire alarms.
Okay, yeah, brilliant.
What that's really doing is it's distilling down BS 5839 Part 6.
Yep.
£280 down into about 100 pages for the price of 20 quid.
Wow.
But it allows the electrician to actually take that into their customers, and that explains in a proper, understandable way that anybody can pick it up and realise why you've got to do what you've got to do to be compliant.
Yeah, and I think that could be needed in lots of areas, and especially in our electrical area. Those technical books are, for pretty much most of us, we probably chose a more hands-on industry, didn't we, in those days, because we were more interested in that than the classroom. And then you get some very technical documents, and we've spent some time looking for that, and we've also done a video connected to that book.
Yeah.
It's making it simple. So you saw a little bit of a gap in the market there. So you still do all the other books we're used to seeing on DocStore, yes?
Yeah, so right the way through the IET range at the moment's the hot category to be involved in, but for the colleges, there's over 100 titles available in our range. But obviously the EAL books, the City and Guilds books.
Is that one of your favourites, Gary?
Yes, it is one of my favourite books. They're brilliant. They are really well written books. They are really easy to understand. They make the course an absolute pleasure. So what I used to say to my learners was there's a level 2 and a level 3 version of that.
Right, yeah.
Was
Publishes it down
to buy that book, but to read that book, because it really did break it down, and lots of colour photographs, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
We don't want tons of words, do we?
So that's where we tried to get with DocStore, was to scour the market, find all the best electrotechnical products, and there's some other ones that are out there as well that we thought would introduce that are less well known, and just make it dead easy for people that are trying to find subject matter experts without them having to go through the same journey that I did.
Right.
To actually narrow that down, and also bring in other people that have been teaching for maybe 50 years, bringing in learners guys. We'll talk about this earlier on, weren't we? With George, been teaching 50 years, done his books time and time again. Every time there's a standard change, And it's fantastic quality, and it just needs to be brought out to the wider market than one college or a small private training centre.
Yeah, so the feeling is, isn't it, when there's a new book gone out, we go on to maybe an online retailer, Gordon. What does it normally offer?
Well, normally next day free delivery.
Okay,
if you
however,
pay a membership fee.
I'm not. I mean, this is. How well is it policed? That obviously we do get some books that come to the market that maybe not officially, they might have come through a back channel. Is that something that we can see maybe on an online retailer that offers next day delivery?
It's a big risk, and they're getting faster and faster at bringing these fake copies to the marketplace. Right. And part of your risk that, as a consumer, that you find with that is that they're scanning the books through, the scanning products are pretty good, but they don't always necessarily get the formulas right.
Ah, right.
So when you come out to having your annual inspection, and they've thumbed through something, you could be forced to have to go and buy another copy from another outlet potentially.
Well, which outlet would you like to suggest we should be buying them from then?
Absolutely, www.docs-store.co.uk.
Well, we've left the link for it in the description, and you've done something very nicely for the prices on your site this evening. What have you done for us?
Well, for my friends at eFIXX and their loyal subscribers, we're giving 15% off the regs books, the on-site guide, and guidance note 3s.
So I have to put a promo code in, I have to go through loads of things, or have you just dropped the price for tonight for us?
We just dropped it for tonight, and we'll take it. We'll leave it on another 24 hours tomorrow as well, because
we don't want you to leave the live stream, do we? No. Yeah. So links in the description for the Docs-store.
Docs-store.
Yeah, don't put Doc Store in, because you get yourself a new pair of trendy shoes and they're really expensive. If you think the regs books are expensive, you buy a pair of those shoes. So Docs-store, we've got a link in the description, and for 24 hours you've shelved 15% off your books.
Off the
You're a
books,
good
yeah.
man.
I think you could have a fake here though, Paul. I've been looking at this on-site guide, and there's a cable missing from it.
Oh!
Let's see.
Is it 0.5mm by any chance?
What's missing?
0.5mm cable.
Yeah, that's not in there. I mean, it's amazing. New stuff comes out, and I can't believe how quickly some people can meddle with things and produce forgeries.
I think you need to read that book, because you're flirting with fire now.
Yes. Well, we'll just we'll file that away in the cupboard.
Trouble.
I thought we put that one to bed 2 live streams ago. We mentioned it last live stream, and it's a bit like in the Faulty Towers one, and we won't mention the skip, but we all know it's wins. We think we got away with it. I think blatantly there you didn't get away with that one.
Paul started it.
Yeah, okay. Well, he mentioned the word.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Counterfeit. Okay. So there you go. That's a really, thank you very much, Paul, for doing that. Yeah. So Paul's giving you 15% off his books, and that's 24 hours. Well, we've delayed him from speaking, because it's not getting him to speak that's the problem. It's to get him to stop speaking. I think that was a quote that was in Shrek, wasn't it, about the donkey? And I think you threw a green thing at him earlier during our mic off time, where you suggested that it might not just be the Goonies, it might be Shrek as well, Paul.
God, get some low-level boys on this
Yes.
channel tonight.
I got invited onto this channel.
Yeah, the Shrek of the
And
electrical
all I've got
industry.
is a load of stick-off fuel up.
Yeah, no worries. So Gordon, so you come through with the
Well,
the
Richard, I
sockets.
mean, we get a lot of stuff. Obviously, we've followed Richard's journey since he was on Dragon's Den a while ago, wasn't it? How long ago was that now?
Yeah, it was September 15th, 2019.
Yep.
Episode 6 of Series 17 of the Dragon's Den.
Not that he remembers it. I think approximately, probably back then.
Yeah, before lockdown.
And you're one of these, obviously, we love it when electricians develop products for electricians, and that's what you did with the sockets, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, my business, I were electrical contractor, predominantly social housing rewires, and when we did the rewires, occupied refurbishments, the tenants are living in these properties, so what we had to do was rewire the property but ensure the tenant had the power at the end of the day. But after we'd done the rewire, you had the following trades: plasterers, painters, tilers, which we had to send electricians to do lock-offs. Had to lock off so then the plasterer and painter could unscrew the sockets, and then at the end of the day we'd go back after we'd plastered. Plasterer had screwed the sockets back, unbeknown to us. He'd filled them with plaster, it all dropped him back in the sockets, we'd energise it, a test, 10 o'clock at night, you get a call. Socket stripped out, was plasterer been in today? Yep, that was a problem. So, I was on the health and safety committee of one of the big housing refurbishment companies at the time. So this lock-offs is a way around it where the plasterers and painters do not have to remove the switches and sockets. So I said, leave it with me. I've got an idea. There was nothing on the market at the time and nothing BS certified. I looked in the regulations. Regulation 522.4
That's what I was saying.
BS 7671 basically states if you do not make good the fabric of the building, you cannot energise. But when you work in occupied properties, the tenant needs a power on at the end of the day, and the plasterer won't come in for 2 or 3 days later. So we all know plasterers, we all love them, don't we, as electricians? You know, the plasterers are as friends, we try to look after them. So I came up with the invention and the patent for the safety shield. So basically the safety shield fits on the front of your BS462 back box, which everybody knows, it's your knockout box.
Yeah, metal
gang
box,
and tool gang. Yeah,
Straight in the wall. There you go.
Fits on your back box, your accessory fits on the front. Once it's all connected, you can test and leave the actual installation in full working order, so the actual tenant, the client, has got full working sockets, lighting and everything while the electricians have finished. But it gives you full compliance, you can test, certify, but then when all the other trades are finished, you can go back, remove the socket. This is a reusable one which just snaps off and can be reused, and then screw your sockets back.
There you go. So are you in, Gary?
I'm in. I'm in.
Paul, are you in?
I'm in for 30%.
Yeah, we're in for 30%, Richard. Thank you very much for coming. We'll send the paperwork. But I mean, people have seen, you've got loads of these now out on Instagram. I see loads of people using them.
Yep. Lots of sold through the actual SSD type, which is a disposable type, is sold through Appleby range of products. Electrium sell them to all the wholesalers nationwide. The reusable one is sold direct by myself through the wholesalers or directly online. When all the wholesalers shut down during lockdown, luckily I had the online store. We'd also developed the app, so you can get the Sockitz app. Download the Sockitz app and you can get the discount code, which we'll give you in a minute.
No.
And with the Sockitz app, yes, you'll get priority deliveries as well and the best prices. So I just found it easier for the electricians during lockdown. If they've got the app, click on. If they've done a previous order, they can click what they'd ordered previously or just increase the previous order and they get delivered. One thing which we did do is, we're very popular electricians, we did the multi-pack. So a lot of electricians wanted a multi-pack, 10 singles, 10 doubles with the 50mm screws, and that's the best-selling product online, is the actual multi-pack there. But since that and the success of the safety shield, we've then got electricians wanting, the other problem we had was new built housing, you know, or where you've done a first fix.
We'll come on to that, Richard. He's off there.
Yeah.
So we just like to apologise to those people. Yes, Richard is shy. It's difficult to get a conversation generated out of him. But let's bear with people. Okay, so we've picked the bones out of those bits. We know you've got lots. You're a serial entrepreneur and inventor. Just quickly, how many patents have you got past?
About 20.
20. How many of those were first time?
All of them.
Yeah. So
Never failed to get a patent.
that's an incredible
and each pack of sockets comes with a free set of steak knives, tonight only. But on that, we've got some other products that electricians have invented, and people have mixed results on this, because you're out there selling it.
Yeah.
You've got your app.
Yep.
You can get them on, I think, eBay still and things like that.
You can get them on eBay, get them on Amazon, you can get them on the Sockitz app, you can get them on the Sockitz website.
We've got your app there, Richard.
Yeah.
Pause here.
You say the Sockitz app.
Yeah, you did. And you're going to give us a discount.
I need an app, don't I? I need an app.
You do. But we've got some other products we've seen that are great.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing we always get whenever we review a product or show a product, we get two big questions: how much is it, and where can I get it from? And some of the other products not quite as easy. It's some great products. We did the little.
We've done a couple of videos on this, haven't we?
Yeah, the little tray spacer.
Yeah. From Tray Simple.
Just clip into
Just clips into the back of cable trays.
Yeah.
To demonstrate,
Probably, I can try. Yeah, I'll do that and the camera work. Yeah. What else going to do?
So the tool wall up.
So we go there, and I've got to now look beyond it, squeeze it in, and that becomes the spacer for it. So obviously we're the opposite way around now in order to space it off. And if you double them, obviously it works the same as the wider channel. So in other words, we call it unistrut. So I think that's the 21mm, and doubling them up gives you the 40.
You can lock them together. But
really clever.
And you know, people have these great inventions. You spend a lot of your time and money on tooling. I mean, that tool wouldn't have been cheap, would it?
Oh no, you're talking thousands for a tool.
Yeah, and yet you can't buy them online anywhere.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. So a lot of interest in that when we've reviewed that in the early days. I think I did that in my own kitchen.
The other one is the Brocket.
Love that.
Which was developed by Adrian. And you went down to see him, Gary, didn't you? In his garage. He makes them in his garage. But
unbelievable.
It's not quite.
Unbelievable bloke. I mean,
not quite the garage you'd...
No. It's not like a garage you've ever seen before. So, of course, and he's gone on and made the larger ones as well. I think he makes them almost to order on those. We've seen Pegasus loves them. We will get to Pegasus at some point. But, of course, since he's gone massive on cryptocurrency, he's harder to get older than he was before. So we've got those. And, yeah, we like those. Again, an electrician made them for electricians, which is great. What else you got there, Gordon?
I've got the Solder Mate.
It is,
Which again, so this is available from its start. You can get this from, I think he was selling them direct, and then they're on, obviously, well-known online retailers. And yeah, so again, that was electrician solving a problem.
Does that improve Gary's soldering?
No, nothing would improve
It's
Gary's
not a
soldering.
miracle product.
Okay.
Now we've put some bits out here because we haven't got one, but we've got our great friend, isn't he, Big T, Trevor at eFIXX. Obviously, he didn't invent the thermos flask any more than he invented the small mint that looks like a Tic Tac. But he did invent the block for EV towers, didn't he, and EV posts that's easily inserted into the ground, say if you're doing shuttering and concrete. And what does Big T do for a living, Gordon?
Well, he started out as an electrical contractor. He was fitting the early EV charge points.
He was.
Obviously, found he was spending a lot of time doing concrete work, which is almost just one step behind plastering, really, to say. Yes, they are people too. But,
And we saw his new product, didn't we, at the
and
show?
he's sort of gone out and learned with the market, and he keeps making the product smaller. You can nearly lift it now, which is a great step forward. But in this market, isn't it? You spot a gap, you try and develop your product, but it's that challenge of bringing products to market, isn't it? That's where everybody struggles.
I had an issue on site. Well, no product out there in the market, so I just went away. The injection moulding company I use were very good. They helped me develop, what I'd patented, and they helped me get it, out there. And I'd actually sold 38,000 safety shields before I even manufactured one. And that was similar with the splits.
Which is great if you can sell it before you even
if you can sell it. But and with online now and e-commerce, your route to market is a lot easier than what it was in the past. In the past, you only had your wholesalers, whereas now with e-commerce and that famous online store which you mentioned going all the time where you buy all your stuff from is great. You've got other online stores, you've got your own website, and you can develop your new app like the Sockitz app.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so and we've got one more going.
We've got the cable mate, which everyone loved when we did it.
Yeah.
But this is like the Lord Lucan of electrical products. It's just, you don't know where it is.
Was it Alan that made this
Alan,
one?
your friend,
Well, I unearthed this one. I taught his son. Yeah, it really is good. But Alan had a few health issues and some other bits and bats. And I think he was trying to do it, that cottage industry style. I think he had him in his garage. He's posting them out. Great idea. But sometimes I think that's what holds the electrician with a great idea can sometimes be held back by being an electrician, can't he? Or she, sorry, I apologise there, but he or she can be held back by the fact that they've got all the other things to do, and it's really difficult to take yourself out of that space and just put yourself into one space and concentrate on doing something really well. But that's what Trevor's done, hasn't he? He stopped installing EV chargers and concentrated on the block.
Yeah.
He also did that as we did during the COVID, so he had all the pains of growing his business there, and obviously went through that one on the live stream. So we're always interested, have you got other products made by electricians for electricians? Have you got an electrician story that's gone on and built a business away from that contracting world that obviously is interconnected with our electrical industry as Paul is with his books? Leave them in the description. Maybe we can chase down a few of those and start that innovation corner up again, Gordon.
Yeah, we've seen a few. There's a lot of people have built products around the Vargo box. Vargos, we call them now.
Are they not Wagos?
No, they're not. These are Vargos, but they're quite.
Because that looks like it's called the Wago box, doesn't it? As in, it's spelled.
Yeah, but it's not made by.
It's not made by.
Xbox.
Yeah.
But then there's a guy, M-Tech manufacturer, and he developed the original junction box for the heating system that you buried, Gary, until the second version came out.
The first one wasn't very good.
But then he's now created he's always messing around with things like the ceiling rows and things like that.
I think there's another company who have a really good lighting connection unit.
You're not doing one of them, Richard,
which hasn't hit the market yet, but called Sockitz, yes, lighting connection unit. May even have a registered trademark called Slights.
Slice.
We've got sockets, we've got splits, and we've got slights. And what else have we got? Sockets.
Oh, dear.
Guess what I'm going to put in my pockets?
No, not the pocket.
Sockets in the pockets.
These are my favourites though. So anyone, this is a top piece of advice. My son is 2 weeks off starting his GCSEs, and if it's anything like when I did my GCSEs, it will be the hottest time of the year. So whatever day you do your maths exam will be the hottest day of the year, and it'll blister through. Most of the curtains will be shut. There'll be cracks in those curtains which beats down onto your table. And you'll get to your table and it will rock. And it will rock slightly. And what I used to do is just get some of those paper towels. They don't do paper towels anymore because we've gone paper towelless. Now we're at the hand dry. You can't take one of those and wedge it underneath your table legs to level them up. But thanks to Richard Brook at Sockitz, you've got the splates, and these are the perfect packing item. Richard, anyone doing the GCSEs needs to take these in as well as a scientific calculator into their maths exam, because this will solve the biggest problem you ever have, the leg that is not the same length as the other one. So thank you for that,
wobbly
Richard. Great
tail.
mention.
I'd like to say thank you to Abattoir Jack.
No, abattoir.
Abattoir Jack.
Abattoirs where the animals
well,
don't come back from there.
The gift that keeps on giving.
He's bought 30 Sockitz safety shields and thinks they're a great product, so thank you.
Great, but GCSEs, remember, splates. Okay,
Yes.
that's
Plates on your plates and sockets in your pockets.
They're also, Gary, I mean, it's a multi-purpose product.
Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Restaurants.
Go on.
You go into a restaurant, the table in the restaurant can be a little bit wobbly as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And you can put one of them in. The plumber who we had in to do a little bit of first fix plumbing managed to use some of them to pack up his pipe to get the fall on the old poo pipe.
But one other thing we're also good for is when you do a first fix,
Yep.
you put them on your base 462 back box, single and double, and stop plasterers from filling your back boxes with plaster.
That's where we've been
So
going
that
wrong,
that
isn't it?
is another great use for them.
No.
So when you're an electrician, you
Oh,
go
so-
back to do your second fix, you're not spending 15 minutes on every box clearing out the plaster.
There you
Okay,
go.
right, let's talk
Someone
about...
wants to buy some in Malaysia, Richard. Can they use the app in Malaysia?
No. Sorry. I don't think they have BS462 back boxes.
Oh, they
so,
do.
Do
Yeah,
they?
yeah. It's
I
a
know
former-
Saudi Arabia does.
No, there's a lot of the old Middle Eastern countries.
Kuwait has a BS462 back box.
Singapore,
Oh.
Hong
You
Kong,
could be a Malaysian distributor.
India.
So all ex-British colonies have the same
Yep,
BS462 single and double back box like the UK.
yep.
Oh.
There you go. It's given. There we go. I would like Richard to come out and.
Well, you've been in Singapore a bit, haven't you? So you could move back out there.
Oh, have
Maybe
you?
agent,
Gordon's
Gordon.
been in Singapore.
Have you been to
Let's
Singapore?
delve into this
Yeah,
story,
come on,
Gordon.
come on. When were you in Singapore, Gordon? Come on, enlighten us.
about
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, what
we
did you do? What did you do?
Were you between relationships then?
No.
No? No. What goes on tour stays on
Oh
tour,
no,
is it?
that's why I have a disastrous. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that now. It's too long a story.
What electrical installations do you do in
Maybe
Singapore?
we'll in the plug and socket.
No, I didn't do electrical there.
Oh, right.
Some more
True,
EV
true.
stories for the
no,
plug and
right,
socket
okay.
as well.
there.
Okay, so we've finally got him to slow up talking. So Rich, turn his mic off. Right, so I put the GT time up because I think right now we're going to do it slightly different this time. Explain the new rules with the GT time.
Well, I think some people may have guessed the right now because accidentally in the back of a video released last week, you could see the leaderboard, which we've covered up tonight behind us, and people spotted it. And I think they spread tonight's time around social. So
So for the next 2 or 3 live streams, okay, you still haven't had the commentary, so there's some great commentary. We did 2 back-to-back commentaries this time, and someone's already asked, can we see parts of JB that were not meant to be seen on camera? Well, you'll have to wait for next time. It's not JB this time.
No.
But yeah, so it's everyone who wants to put the right time in because they've been done a bit of investigation. We will pull one person randomly, not the first time this time.
Yeah,
So
so
get your times in.
you've got to guess what time does.
As most people got it
does
right.
Rick Hearn, also gone under the name he is on tonight, the UK Spark. What time does he complete the Electricians Challenge in minutes and seconds? And the person who's closest to it, or if lots of people are bang on the time, we'll have to draw one out.
Yeah.
And if if we know the deliberate cheat, we'll rule them. The people who did it can't enter.
No.
We'll put that out there. And if you do win, I've got this.
What you
I've
got?
this nice
Nice.
little.
We got. Oh, we got one of them magnetic Weeha screwdrivers.
No, there's one of them. We
Oh,
haven't got
right.
one of them yet.
Oh no.
But it's a nice little.
Is it calibrated?
It has. It's got it's a screwdriver handle with some of the slim bits, but a torque adapter in there, so that'll cam out at 2 Newton meters, which is pretty good because a lot of consumer units.
But if you
The
drop
earth
them like
bar.
a torque wrench, you have to recalibrate them.
No, you don't have to recalibrate. You just
You
have
do
to
your
check
torque-
them.
you do your
No,
torque
you just
wrench.
have to check them, Richard.
Right. Is it like an arm? Can you
Video.
calibrate your arm?
Have you got a calibrated arm?
Yes, I have.
There we go. We're going to test that later on. So, the times are coming in.
Okay, brilliant.
And everyone thinks it might be fast. Well, will it be fast?
Ooh.
Will it be slow? But
Is it
it's,
top 10?
Yeah, well, we'll have to see.
Am I still top 10?
Well,
well,
have to.
well,
We'll have
be
a peek
careful.
behind the
Sub
curtain,
4
Richard.
minute club.
Are you sub 4 minutes?
Sub 4 minutes.
Wow,
yeah.
you must be one of the early people going under 4 minutes.
So the times are flooding in, Gary. So I think we can.
Have we got many similar times, or we got?
No, they're all over
that's
the
good
place.
Then.
They're all over the
That's
place.
good. So we might be playing along as normal.
Yes.
We were a little bit because the 2 people obviously that were on the board also let us know that we dropped a bit of a clanger at the time as well. Well, this is a good one, and the UK Sparks up first. JB's in 2 weeks, so there's a bit of personal rivalry there. So we'll go over to that one. Let's bring them in. So here they go.
It's time for another Electricians Challenge. Now we've got some guests from out of town in today. Someone has come up from the south, or Oxford as they would know it as, and someone from Lancashire. It's my pleasure to introduce James Barrett and Rick Hearn. So So you've been threatening to come up for a while?
I have been,
Yeah.
me and Rick thought about it.
Yeah. You were going to bring a busload of people?
Yeah, they let us down, didn't they?
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah. And how, I mean, we'll come on to how you found it a little bit later on. But so on Instagram, you're JB Electrical.
Yeah, JB Electrical Ox,
Ox for Oxford, you've got them there. And you go under them as the UK Spark.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Yeah, so check out the channels, accounts, make sure you follow them, because we've had a lot of fun. Now, you've wanted to do the challenge for a while?
Yeah, probably about a year, I expect. I had an operation, so I had to delay it. And I spoke with Rick. We said, let's do it together, let's make a day of it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
let's meet each other in person for the first time.
Yeah.
Glad we did.
Nice.
Yeah, it has been nice.
That's nice, that.
Yeah, do you like that?
It's a bit like a Tinder first date tonight. So, although you're dressed the same, you've never actually met each other before.
No, we've never met each other before. But, you know, we're advocates of using Verso products and we think they're good, so we thought we'd...
Yeah. I'll have a word with Will from Verso. Then he
sneaked
this one in.
He did sneak it in.
Nice guy, Will.
You can't beat a trier. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
But you can't beat a trier. Yeah, we'll have him for this. But the challenge. How did you find it?
I wasn't happy as what I thought I'd be.
Right. Get in with an early excuse. We like it. Yeah.
Yeah, my hands were cold.
And we even brought out the 18 kilowatt fan heater to try and bring some of that
They were really cold.
some of the southern air up.
The environment wasn't right, okay? Nah, I knew I could have done better. Just little silly mistakes where you get nervous, start shaking, and you make that small error, and then in your head, you're like, oh, why did I do that for? And then by the time you're thinking about it, as you're going along, you're wasting time. So.
Okay, well, we're not going to go into times yet. So, Rick, speaking of shaking, might have got to walk the dog when I get back home.
Well, yeah, I should have brought some beers with me. No, it was. It's harder than you think, but obviously got quicker. In my head, I was thinking, I want to be on top. I don't want to be on bottom. I don't, I want to be top 4. I want to at least be in above 10th. But yeah, I did the best I could. Yeah. So I'm happy.
He's happy. Well, on that basis, Rick, we'll see how you got on first. So let's see how Rick got on with the Electricians Challenge. Okay, so here goes Rick, and he's off.
Shake it to the left, shake it to the right. Come on, Rick, let's see if we know good on.
Okay, so I think this is the first time we've had a Vera screwdriver. Is it Vera or Vera, Gary?
Well, if it's German, let's go with Vera.
All right, okay, well, he's in. First time we've had that screwdriver on, and he seems to be veering off the head of the screwdriver at the minute.
Okay, well, good tip is to put them on the top, so that's a good start. Pop them on top of the box. You don't want a silver screw on the grey floor. It's a screw you'll see no more.
Yeah, apart from that one he's left on the floor.
Oh dear, not good.
So anyway, let's hope we can recover from that shaky start. And we're into the cables already, so we're twisting them together.
Now we've got tape. Remember, these guys can bring their own tools. He brought some tape. I'm not convinced yet that the tape is any quicker than twisting it. No. And I always like the rolling over the end. It has gone straight on the end. This is important though, straightening it out in order that you can get it nice and stiff as you poke it up.
Yeah, and is he going to manage it?
Yeah.
Textbook.
Yeah,
textbook.
absolutely.
So this actually, this looks quite fast.
It does, yeah. I mean, it's slick round the corner. Okay, I'd suggest there's a lot of cable there, I would suggest.
Yeah, well, Scrapman is going to be happy again. Straight into the consumer unit, that was good.
Yeah, so we're into the Luden consumer unit, snipping off that tape and then obviously stripping it. He's got the world's tiniest little strippers there, hasn't he?
I thought he was going to do his nails when he brought them out. So
that's quick though, it's quick. There is a lot of conductor hanging out the front, so I suppose we're going to curl that back. Concentration, look at it.
Concentration now, he's in. And the Vera's in again.
Yeah, and again, we're swapping between screwdrivers. Some people keep the flat head for the whole thing. We're actually going from flat head to posi, so I think that's also a good tip, especially if you've got them in your pocket. You can just swap between them. There we go, one conductor in the consumer. So this is a quick time.
Yeah, that's concentration there, wouldn't you? You wouldn't like to upset Rick, would you?
No.
That beady stare.
No, yeah.
You'd know when he's angry.
Of course, with it being a double header, there's that much more pressure, isn't there? Because obviously, JB's got his go as well. Yeah. Now, this is another one. Now, this might have been a JB tip, actually, that he's passed on to Rick, leaving the CPC longer. and then obviously stripping back the end, putting it in the back box,
Oh,
and then cutting it again.
I
And I've
don't
been-
think we've seen that before, yeah.
Well, you're going to see it a lot in the future because I've used it as a top tip when coaching the people that are non-electricians.
You're upselling now with that one, are you?
Yeah, I
You're
am.
claiming it as your own.
I think even a Ray Maloney might use it as a trick in the coming weeks, and he didn't look as if he'd seen many screwdrivers in his life. Talking of not seeing many screwdrivers, it can't be far off until we have Carl from Wago.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, screwless connectors at Wago, but we'll save what happens there, but you have to watch something there, something we've never ever seen before now. But meanwhile, back to Rick.
It's quick. So, so as we're waxing away, these little snips look like they're an old favourite. Might come out of Grandad's tool box. But, yeah, we've got all those ends done. Okay. CPC.
What's going on here?
Well, I don't know, we're shaking. Look at that.
Yeah. He's giving up on that one. I hadn't undone the screw. It wasn't the wrong terminal. We'll just point that out there. There are two earth terminals on there.
He got a little bit nervous, didn't he?
Yeah.
Trying to poke it into a hole that wasn't open.
Now, will we have two terminals moving forward? Obviously, we're phasing out that old high integrity earthing that nobody used anyway.
Well, I used to make my learners split the CPCs across two terminals as good practice moving forward, even though some people have told me the bar that connects them together would increase the impedance of a circuit, which I coughed and laughed at.
That's a good point, yeah, 'cause some of them are made of steel.
It's irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but he is shaking away here. But this is a reasonable time. So two screws, he's found them both. They're both on top of the BG socket outlet, which is now 2 screws away from being completed.
Just shake those screws in there, Rick. Come on, you can do it.
Oh, he's gone for two finger
And then going in for the screws. Yeah, he's tattooed his phone number on his wrist there, just in case he forgets it when I knock it out.
Okay. Ooh, nearly done. That's a good time.
Yeah, well, that was fun, Rick. We enjoyed it. Yeah, we really did enjoy it. And there's a right mess you left there. The scrap man will be happy because there's some excess cable there for him, and with copper prices at the moment, yeah, he'll be delighted.
Yeah, it was one of the my hands.
Yeah.
Got shaking. But yeah, that's how I usually wire up boards anyway.
Come down off the alcohol, innit?
If we're looking across at the leaderboard, where would you like to be?
So you got Mark down there, he's a nice guy. Definitely above Aaron. I would like to be above Lee Brody, probably, or...
Oh, Lee Brody. Well, let's see. Lee Brody, do you use any Collingwood lighting?
No.
No? Oh, well, there you go. Well, you'll be delighted to know that Rick Hearn, you did this in 4 minutes and 16, so you're certainly above Lee Brody. Let's look up. Oh, just under Damien Eden.
Right, Gordon, what are you up to?
I'm just going to peek behind the curtain just to see where Richard is. So, Richard, you are just above 4 minutes still. You're 3:53. And Paul, you're still on there. You're still on this board. You're down there at a very respectable 5:46 for a non-electrician.
Am I still in the top 10?
Yeah.
Am I still
Now I've
top
got to
10?
count up.
We can't give you the top 10 because obviously people are doing it all the time, and you're top 15.
I was going to say yes or no. I'm in the top
Touch and go.
Oh.
Touch and go.
And
might have a comeback.
Just for, I think, if you look at that clock at 18 minutes 45, Rick's had another go, ain't you, Rick? Hey, he's up there, Rick. Yeah, you're getting slower, mate. Yeah, you're getting slower. 18 minutes and 45, Rick. Wow. Unemployable, I would suggest.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
So that was a great fun, and we look forward to the next one where you may see more than you expected.
And I was so pleased the second attempt wasn't the quickest time because we had, I would suggest, undercarriage was being shown.
We haven't eaten since.
But I got home on the Thursday. Wife said, "I've done your 2 baked potatoes." I said, "No, thank you. No chance. No chance." Wow. So
that was great. No, Rick was great fun. He was shaking. You'll know if anyone works with Rick, you'll notice when he's done something wrong, he sort of just gives a little nod of the old head there, so you know when he's not happy with his work. But that was great. Great fun. So we want some times, don't we?
So your prize is going to be given away. So so come in with your times.
So the closest was.
So we didn't get anyone on it.
We didn't get anyone on it. So
Right,
that was
okay.
good. So clearly people haven't been watching other videos.
Oh, well, that's a bit of a kick, isn't
We'll
it?
not say which one it's accidentally leaked in. The winner was Sean the Spark at 4 minutes and 17. So Sean, if you want to collect your prize, which is this Weehar screwdriver, just go to the link, get involved below and say you've won the GT time on the form that's on there, and we'll whiz them out. Great, Richard. They're on there.
Nearly as good as a calibrator.
And I think Richard will put in a box of sockets with it as well.
We
all
are, yeah.
splits.
We'll put a Sockitz multi-pack in and some splits.
Yeah, steady on, Richard. We've got to pay the postage here.
I'll pay the postage. I know time's a time. I'll pay the
We're
postage.
chucking a book as
He's throwing a book
What
in.
do points make?
We'll be singing,
Prizes.
we'll be singing about your generosity long after you've gone.
And just a little thing down here. It looks like you've already loaded up a pallet. Is that pallet off to Malaysia, Richard?
Kuwait, Singapore, and somewhere else. Gordon's got a
Malaysia.
story. Malaysia.
Singapore.
Well, what do you do in Malaysia?
Oh, Penang.
Oh,
Penang.
did you work there?
Daylight Factory, Penang. So there you go, still we're there. LED high base.
Have you ever worked with anyone who's done everything before? I do, yeah. It's a nightmare. I've had 7 patents. I've owned this business. I had the biggest trade show in the world, whatever it was, yeah.
But it's, yeah, so if you'd like to get involved with the Electricians Challenge, again, you can fill in the form below if you want to pop along. We'll have an informal chat about when you can come along and do it.
Yeah.
This week has been fantastic because we've had somebody who actually came all the way from India to take on the challenge world. He's done that. So big shout out to Chris Theobald, and he came along yesterday. And that's some commitment to come from India.
Yeah, but he didn't just come from India. So he has come from India. So he flew into India, but he was in London. And I think it's one of those things where they think everything's quite close to London, isn't it? Right. So he was up at 5, same time as I was on Tuesday, on his train all the way up. He got up here at 9:40, didn't he?
Yeah,
spent the entire day with us. Well, and did you feed him while he was in between the times that you were at work?
We had a lot to do. So.
That's quicker than it took me to get from Dewsbury tonight.
All right.
Yeah. 2.5 hours.
So hats off to Chris.
I've seen some pictures though in India. I think they do use those as well.
Oh, right.
But we're interested. I mean, we've got a video coming out on this. But we're talking about the electrical system in India and how things work. And obviously, electricians there getting £8. Yeah. A day.
I can see eFIXX travelling abroad and doing some away days, Gordon.
We're on it.
No.
This sounds like a good market.
Yeah.
There's a lot of electricians out there. Could be the place for us, Richard. We could be out there.
£8 a day.
However, when you're getting £8 a day, I think, the price of a Vargo or a Splate is like kind of, I'll just give it a piss for now. I'll carry on twisting the wires together. But anyway, fascinating talk. That's coming up, that video.
Yeah, great bloke as well. So he also he came up, we went to Harrogate on Thursday, he went Friday. So he came the other way, all the way up here to go to the Elect show. And then we went to Fully Charged Live on the Friday and he went there on the Saturday and then came to us on the Tuesday. Unbelievable. Yeah, what a lovely bloke. And I think a lot of people in the electrical industry know who he is. For a 20-year-old bloke, he's making quite a lot of noise in that world, isn't he? Yeah,
and even he's been to do the Electricians Challenge. So there's no excuse for anybody now, wherever you are in the world.
Yes, so our first Indian gentleman to
international
do
challenge.
Yeah, international, and
reasonable. But anyway, everyone's congratulating Rick there. He's the fastest electrician on the wall from Fleetwood.
Oh right, okay, that's good. That's great.
So
that gave us that one, and then obviously we had Gary's Swap Shop. So let's bring my logo up. So we had Gary's Swap Shop. Now you haven't won anything yet, and if the last 2 times we've done this is anything to go by, I'm going to keep the prizes because the people at this stage must have stayed on to see if they've won, and then you still have to do some. What are they going to send me, Gordon?
I'm going to say a conduit bush, male or female.
I like that.
Plastic
bush.
or brass.
Yeah.
If you send a 50mm one, we'll send you an extra prize because we're a bit short.
All right. So we're after a 50mm bush. That's brass, I take it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got 2 people, and these have to send us those bushes to Lineside Studios here at Engine Shed Lane, and the 2 winners are
Paul Bell.
Okay, Paul. That sounds like a new name, Paul Bell.
And another new name, I think, Lisa M. So we don't know who Lisa M is, and we don't know if they're still on. But if they're still on, they've won. If they're not on, we keep the prizes.
Yeah, and we've kept doing it. I found 2 more Echo Dots the other week. You could sort to Alexa, play songs by Adele. Kettle off. Yeah, kettle on. Yeah, kettle off. So I found 2 of them now, and that's the week we always get them in, don't we? When we put Alexas in there, everybody for some reason goes after a bit of tech.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're nearly there. So we've got to do the following. We've got to thank the great people that help support this live stream every 2 weeks, along with the great people that help support the live stream this week in Paul Elcock and Richard Brook.
Thanks for having us along.
Yeah, no
Thank
worries.
you.
You're not off the hook yet,
No,
don't worry, we're not going anywhere.
That's the warm-up show.
We're just about to drop into the after show.
The after hours is longer. So for those people who stayed on for the main show because they wanted to get a shout-out, which we did earlier on in the show, if you wanted to play along with Gary's Swap Shop, we've just finished it, as well as the time that Rick did on the Electricians Challenge, which we thank Luden Palazzoli for supporting us with their consumer unit and BG with their socket. We'd also like to thank the following people for supporting this live stream. Okay, we'd like to thank the people at Vargo. I said Wago earlier and you never corrected it. So I thank the people at Vargo. I thank the people at Doncaster Cables, the great people at Ludum Palazzoli, and also the ones at Lasico who have made me cry this week. And I'll mention that in the plug and socket. And there's just one more I can't remember. Yes, okay, make the 3 compartmented trunking. We'd like to thank all of those for helping bring this fortnightly live stream. When we come back next time, it will be JB on the Electricians Challenge.
I'd suggest don't have your tea before tuning in for that.
No, don't have baked potatoes, I would suggest. Okay, so that's us done for that. We're now in the plug and socket. You got the plug and socket board out, so we're chilling out now. So that's it. I'd love another drink, is what I would love. I'll get a bottle of water. Right, okay, carry on.
Yeah, but, oh, he's gone now. We can talk about it. Is that what flavour water is that one, Gary?
It's selfish flavoured.
Selfish water, yeah. The other ones have been open.
It had a loose lid though, and considering they're already 4 months out of date, I wasn't going to risk the loose lid was on it anyhow. Okay, so we're all back. Yeah, good. So now this is the plug and socket where you can hopefully ask questions and we can delve in. So I'll give you another one. So it's the gift that keeps on giving, Paul Elcock. So I've gone on, I've checked the link after this live stream. I've got the doc store one. I've gone on there and I've bought our regs book. Are you going to chuck anything else in?
Yeah, well, through popular demand, a lot of people have been on for the chapter flags, sitting their exams. The book's bigger than ever. Never sold as many sets of chapter flags as what we've done this last month with the new regs books coming out. So thanks for the hospitality tonight. We thought we'd support eFIXX by giving away a set of chapter flags with each regs books that's sold.
Oh, you're an absolute legend.
So what is a chapter flag for people who don't know?
Well, as you know, it's 650 odd pages thick is the new regs book. At the beginning of every chapter, you've got a little tab, double-sided sticky tape that folds over, part 1, part 2, right the way through to the appendixes. So if you're sitting your latest exam or you're on site and you want to get straight to the section without having to thumb through it, you just pull the tab and it takes you straight to the beginning of that part in the regs book.
So we used to do with post-it notes.
Upgraded from vinyl.
Yes.
Upgraded to vinyl as well from paper.
Everything's gone vinyl now, and my son's into vinyl.
I've got a question though. When you go for your exam, you're allowed to have all those post-it notes in your book, or do your regs need to be
clean?
Clean.
Ooh, unwrapped.
Answers below. So have you recently done a regulation course, whether you took an updated course, which you don't necessarily have to do now, as long as you can prove your CPD, and we can help you with that, can't we? eFIXX on the know-how tab. So it'll be interesting to see, can you have a tabbed up book?
Is there a code for the books? No, Big Ash asks, no, there's not a code for the books. You just have to order tonight or tomorrow. It'll be on for 24 hours.
24 hours, you've not 15%?
Right at the top. As soon as you get onto IET books, you'll see it as the first product that comes up on there.
And 15% off.
With the 15% already marked up, and the free chapter flags are on there as well now.
Wow, are you going to hold something else back? You're going to throw in guidance notes 3 and an on-site guide?
Well, I think what I can do is, if anybody wants to subscribe to the Docs Store newsletter, what we'll do is, as the new guidance notes all get released over the next couple of months, we'll let you know and we'll send you a voucher code to get a discount off the up-and-coming guidance notes, which will be slowly released between now and June.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for that.
We're going to let go of the arm on my back now, Gary.
That's right. So, and how many free splates are we going to get and sockets thrown in with it and all the rest of it? No, I'm only joking, Richard.
If you download the Sockitz app and use the discount code Sockitz app, you'll get 10% discount on the Sockitz app. But for tonight and tonight only, I'll modify it so we get an eFIXX Live discount code.
Okay.
So give me time for tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll get my web designer to sort it.
Yeah, okay.
But if you put in eFIXX Live, we'll give you 25% off your order.
And you'll put that on your Instagram page and tag us in, and we'll try and reshare that to remind you in the morning. That's really good. Okay, so we haven't talked about the Tesla for a while, so we're talking about obviously the green world that we're going in. How is the Tesla, Gordon?
Well, I had a mobile service appointment penciled in yesterday.
Okay, I didn't see him turn up.
Because they didn't turn up.
Okay.
Yeah, because they haven't got the parts.
Okay, so they managed to diagnose the problem remotely, which is a really good thing.
Which is great, because I mean, I didn't have to drive to Leeds.
Okay, and it's still broken.
It's still broken. Can't reverse assist is not available.
Okay, but they must know that that's a common problem because they knew what that was.
Parts.
Yeah, they knew that was. So it's broken again, isn't it? It's broken again.
So is that list getting longer?
Oh well, I sort of knocked them off, the job off, but it's I think then the screen is starting to flicker a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm hoping I've turned it to dark mode to try and hopefully preserve the screen.
So you think the LCD screen might go?
Well, I hope not.
When you're ordering a new Tesla?
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to sell it.
Been an early adopter.
Yeah, I'm going to sell it to you, Richard.
How much does it cost to charge it now these days?
Free.
No, I'm still on free supercharging.
Oh, yeah? Ooh, right.
Free super? No. That doesn't. Hang on. He says he's on free supercharging. Does that count as the unit charger as well? Is that part of the plan now, is it?
Wow.
It's often out there grazing. It's not grazing at 22 kilowatts, is it? It's thirsty.
What did I see in the news about apps that won't allow you to charge your car at peak time?
Yeah,
Is that something I saw?
Oh, that video's done well. It's upset a lot of people, that, yeah.
Has it?
Starring 2 male, grey and stale people.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was...
So won't allow you to charge your car at peak time and...
No. So it's now they're programmed when you buy it
Yeah.
that it's built in that it won't charge at peak time. You can override it if you have
say
to.
if you pull up somewhere because you're short on charge halfway back from London.
It's
Peak
residential
time.
charges.
Right.
So it's not
That's not somebody on the
superchargers.
dark net to be able to override it though.
No. You can just. I think we're going to get one in when they've been reprogrammed. We'll find out actually what you can do.
But that's not the only thing they do. They don't. So let's say everybody's economy 7 kicked in at 1 o'clock in the morning. You can't get it to kick in at any point instantly, can you?
No. So now if you start charging, there's a random delay before it starts charging.
Yeah.
Because everyone at the minute, if you're on economy 7, if you had economy 7 meter,
You've got economy 7, haven't you, Gordon?
still fighting that one.
Well, how long's that been now?
It's over a year now
Why did you have your economy 7 meter taken out?
because I wanted to have a smart meter put in.
So what's wrong with your smart meter?
Well, I put the smart meter in,
Okay.
I couldn't get the signal, so then I complained saying
So
you shouldn't have put it in.
So you put your economy 7 one back in.
Well, I won my case with the energy ombudsman.
So it's back in, is it, the economy
No,
7?
it's still not in.
Have you still got a double pole switch then before your smart meter?
No,
between
because I took
meters?
that out as well.
Right.
They took mine out. Trust me, that's
in the
not as
winter.
tricky as not having
right, no double pole
not having the
switch, hang
economy 7, though, is it?
Yeah, that's all. No.
The last time I changed my consumer unit at home, I went for full AFDDs. I've got a little bit of respite before that needs changing
It's all right
again.
because my energy ombudsman have to
Yep.
refund my energy that 80% is on the economy 7 rate. So
Yep.
at the minute I can use as much electric as I want,
Yep.
and eventually I'll get that back to
Eventually.
yeah.
There might be booking Gordon stories of different problems with Teslas and
Have you got PV?
energy
over
providers.
Not yet.
there? You haven't got PV?
Not yet. Not yet.
On a battery system?
It's up.
No. There's a pecking order at eFIXX. I've tried to jump the queue at the minute. I might have managed to jump the queue for that. Yeah. I know.
Right.
Yeah, there's a bit of a power hierarchy here, but one of us threw all these toys out the pram at one point. I might have moved myself up the list.
Yeah, a roundtable discussion on smart meters would be good. We have got a discussion coming up on meter cabinets again.
Yeah, you're bringing that up in a different discussion, aren't you? And then
Yes, I've got
hopefully-
to go to the ECA head office first and have that discussion first before I upset everybody. Right. Obviously, don't want to upset anybody in this industry, do we?
We nearly got through it.
Publishers.
Not in the same month anyway.
Not in the same month. We're in a new month. I can upset somebody new this month. But yeah, so there's a great discussion to have there
Yeah.
because there's loads of problems out there.
Yeah. Well, talking about problems,
Yep.
we've just got a job, contract, 77 properties, full refurbishment. They're all supplied with TT system,
Right.
60 amp, but every property they've specified an EV charger.
Oh.
So all the we're doing EWI as well, external wall insulation. So the TT system's got to come off anyway, but all the electric supplies got to be upgraded. So I wonder how long it's going to take for them to upgrade incoming supplies prior to us starting, and how much do you think we're going to charge?
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting one. So 77 properties, all
Yep.
upgraded, And the question was from a client, is every tenant going to have an electric car? Well, I said, well, maybe not, but if people are on mobility, a lot of mobility cars in the future will be electric, won't they?
All the cars will be electric in the future, Richard. So what you've got to ask yourself is, you've got to survey the 77 people, how many have got a car or a scooter, something that takes fuel, and if, for instance, that's 70 people, you've got to apply the same principle moving forward, because eventually that'll get replaced, won't it? So, yeah, in we go.
Just as a side point, are you on Instagram?
No.
Doc stuff.
Yes, you are.
Oh, we don't. We are.
I
We've
tagged
got
you
a
in on
tag.
it.
We've got a tag, but I'm a bit lazy. I'm a bit lazy at putting things out on Instagram.
Have you got
Okay.
an app yet?
It's coming, I believe. We did a deal just about 10 minutes ago, didn't we?
Yeah, off camera, hopefully. So you are. So for the next 48 hours, you're probably going to be a bit
Big
more.
Ash is
I'll be
asking.
more active on Instagram.
Yeah,
Watch out for a message from Big Ash.
Yeah,
He's
so-
after a bundle.
Okay.
Perfect.
It's after a deal.
He's after a
Yeah,
deal.
we'll sort you
Yeah.
out, don't worry, Big Ash.
Yeah, he's a good kid. He's just done it. He's gone from being mentioned on our live stream to being starring on one, hasn't he? He's been over to Mark Allison and passed on his educational knowledge in that forum as well. So well done, Big Ash. So
Hasn't been here though. And actually, in other news, obviously Pegasus Electricals on, Gary, and I've heard he's had a bit of luck recently.
Oh, just me Eddie. Now, Eddie's the sort of bloke you think that he'd see you all right, because he's a super generous bloke. He's one of the nicest blokes. He helped me through one of the most difficult periods of my life, having never met him before he started all this help. Yeah, brilliant. But he's gone on. He's had a little windfall, little easy win, I would suggest, on crypto coin, hasn't he? Yeah, well, he picked up a right bundle, didn't he?
I think he's made about £30,000.
Wow. Yeah. And he sprayed it all over his social media, did his Instagram page. He couldn't wait to rub it in everyone's face. And now it looks like he's gone into property almost, hasn't it? I've seen beachfront pictures and how well he's doing, eh? Yeah. People change, don't
that's
they?
It. Never hear from him. He's on tonight. He must have taken time out from his new millionaire lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That gives, and just back to Richard's property as well. Yeah. Have you used are you in the Northern Power Grid area, these houses?
Am I in the Northern Power Grid?
No, these 70 houses.
No, they're in Shropshire.
No, well, you can't use it there.
Ludlow,
if you were
Shropshire.
here, we were playing with it earlier today. They've got a design tool you can go online and work out your connection costs.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Western Power.
So we had a player think, if we were to put a 200 kilowatt EV charger here, could we do it?
Right.
Yeah. And the answer was no.
Yeah.
All the cables in this area grow bright red and you can't connect anything to it.
Yeah, well, it's Western Power, this one, so it'd be interesting to see the price what comes in for 77 properties times. Oh, God, who want it now? We've got a price.
But Western Power will do it as 3-phase as standard. If they put new supply in as 3-phase. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that makes logical sense, because one of my ex-students sent me a picture of the cutout of a brand new 2-bed, and it looked like it was a sort of, I suppose, a bungalow, whatever they call them now, there's probably a fancy name for it. That had a 3-phase cable going into it as well. And the joint itself, actually, from the neutral, you could see a copper wire coming out, so that actually tried to, in some form, stake that neutral. So that was stuff I'd never seen before. And I used to work for East Midlands Electricity, that now is Western Power, and I never saw any connection to that neutral to earth in the whole time I worked for them. And that was
allegedly.
Alleged, yeah. No, definitely no. But what they used to do was they used to cut right round the cable and expose like the outer sheath and just fill it back full of mud. So that was sort of left to be connected to earth. That's the only time I ever saw anything connecting to earth on the really older cables. But yeah, that was 3-phase going into a tiny little property.
But upgrading incoming supplies now, it's just going to be a massive job out there now. Every property wants a EV charger, incoming supply upgraded. And one of the lads, Stuart Cato, I think he got a price off somebody for an incoming supply because he wanted bigger PV on there and the car charger. I think I quoted him £20,000 to upgrade the incoming supply for his property.
Wow, there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah. We might get the 3-phase one into every third property and just run a lead out of the meter box.
Did you just say that live?
Is that with the 0.5mm cable as well?
E-type breaker.
You can't use an E-type breaker on that one.
Yeah. 3V, no electronic, Gary. That was classic, wasn't it? So,
did anybody come back with the regs with the tabs in?
Richard up above there, he says you can use them, but you can't write on them. Is that right?
Can't put text on it.
Can't put text on it, so I think you can use it. So it might be some difference, be interesting on that one.
Yeah. I think now is the best time to become
if you use it on if you put it on Instagram, Paul, you'll get the answer.
Yeah. I was looking at apprentice electricians, and now with online YouTube, with eFIXX, with the CPDs, I think now is probably one of the best times to become a qualified electrician, because you've got so much information from people like yourselves and the training and CPDs. It's we never had that when we were apprentices, did we, Paul? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's me, sorry.
Hold on, we'll go back career history. What did Paul do before the NIC? You were in the tool industry, right?
Yeah, I grew up in the power tool industry. Once over, our family business was the biggest distributor of Makita power tools in the UK.
Do you do the kettle?
So
Battery powered kettle?
We got out before they downsized, downgraded a lot of their tools. No, the old fella's still a big Makita fan.
Yeah.
When I got into the trade, DeWalt was up and coming from the sort of money that Black & Decker were chucking at it. So I'm a big DeWalt fan, having spent many a night in the bars with them lads.
Yeah.
As times changed, son's got into the electrical trade, he's now in Milwaukee. So
does it go in cycles? It's like Makita, then DeWalt came. Now everyone seems to look Milwaukee, and then there'll be the Cat Power tools we haven't reviewed yet.
Yeah, I think you see a lot of them how they do the marketing. That's as I say, when I came into it, it's late 90s, and money was no object on marketing. DeWalt were trying to grow their market share over Bosch and Makita were really the leaders. Milwaukee was its own brand of American brand before TTI bought it.
Yeah.
And TTI, huge company, big deep pockets.
They're Chinese, aren't they?
TTI, yeah, on VAX vacuum cleaners.
Oh yeah, there was someone did a video once. Who owns which power tool company? It was like TTI, and that they own VAX. It's the same company as Milwaukee.
Milwaukee and AEG.
Yeah,
all those.
So, but you can't swap the batteries.
I know you
No, we can with our special adapter we made a video on. So that's quite good then. So that circles in, doesn't it, Paul? Because your son is underway at becoming an electrician, whereas obviously you didn't. We talked about electricians that do things for electricians. We class you as being in that world. But your son's got into it. And he's had a bit of a difficult start to his career, hasn't he? He's had a bit of a stop-start. He had COVID, not necessarily personally. I think he was involved in the COVID process with his learning that, and he actually lost his job, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a real challenge for something where Louis has really wanted to get involved in the industry, passionate about it, you'd even say. Going to, at the age of 16, knew he wanted to work with his hands, get into the trade, join to college, doing his sort of first year at college, trying to get an employer to take on a young apprentice at that age. Obviously, doesn't have a driving license. That stands in his way as well. Yeah. To sort of getting onto the ladder, to really just being used as cheap labour on the house bashing front, but it's a step on the ladder, so you go for it. To then sort of being laid off as for whatever reason his previous employer did. He's seen it all, but he's still stuck at it. He's reinvested in his tools. He's putting himself out there, learning on the jobs outside of his normal 8 till 5 jobs as well. And as you said, there's lots of free stuff out there, and that's the way that he's picking up a lot of his knowledge, is on these these sorts of things, the YouTube videos that eFIXX are putting out. And
it's a great story. Obviously now he's got a job in that, but these are the sort of things that we're going to cover as well when we go and do a live stream for, and it's not, I'm going to say it's dedicated for apprentices, but it isn't. So if you join us on these live streams, we're going to do them from the 16th of May at 12:30. So hopefully it clashes with most people's lunch break. And if you're deeply invested in the electrical industry, but you're not an apprentice, I still think there's some value for you to be on there and watching them, because it's the comments we're going to need help with, because I'm not going to necessarily have any help like Gordon, currently brilliant on the comments, reading stuff and all the rest of it. I'm not going to be able to do that and maybe the camera work. So again, if you see someone on there who might even be in your local area, wants a bit of advice or wants a couple of days work experience in that, and you're on there, that's the sort of opportunities it is to sort of say, oh, I can't offer you apprenticeship, I haven't got that sort of work, but you are close to me, and yes, I can take you on 1 or 2 days a week while you're doing, say, a full-time course, and you're not got an apprenticeship, because the experience on site is hugely valuable for when the opportunity does come, because you need everything. Now, you've got a little bit of learning at college, but you've got no experience on site. If you can marry the two together, that apprenticeship is easier to get. And we know from our person of the year, Mark Allison, how those apprentices that lost their job, and how he managed to get people into employment. So that 16th of May, 12:30 becomes our very first live stream, similar to this, probably a different location. We'll try and jazz it up in a different way. And the first one now, I've got the lecturer of the year joining me, haven't I?
Oh yes, Ian Clark.
Yeah, Ian
Coming
Clark.
dressed as Elvis.
Yeah.
His day wear.
Yeah, so he'll be on with me, and then moving forward from that, hopefully we've got Marcus, who I taught with, so college lecturer, now back on the tools. He's done exactly what I've just suggested there. Somebody come up to him, knocked on his front door, found his van, sign written van. We're going there as well, aren't we? Knocked on his door and said, any chance of some work experience? So he's got Eric working with him at the minute. Like I said, didn't offer him a job, he offered him work experience. Yeah. And he's learnt more in 2 weeks, I think, than he did in his entire time at college. Yeah, so there's plenty of added value, I think, as we move into the apprentice world on a live stream for the people that are fully invested in the electrical industry, to help me out on that one. I would appreciate that.
Is that once a month, Gary?
It's going to be roughly once a month, because we're going to miss out the months, obviously, of July and August when people aren't at college. So we're going to go May, June, September, October, November, and then a Christmas special, and then we'll spin it round into next year. And the good thing is Marcus is doing it with me. He's Mr. Merry Christmas as well. He'll have Santa blow-ups, he'll have jumpers on and all sorts of stuff. So and hopefully there's some good giveaways there as well when we got some incentive to come on, and perhaps you'll help us when we do the one in the books.
Absolutely, definitely, I mean, just to go on to something else, Gary, about with Louis' journey was a lot of the electrical firms right now are so busy. Yeah. And that is actually a negative in trying to get in there, because they don't have the time to actually take on a less experienced member of the team to actually monitor them and sort of show them the ropes. But if they can actually just spend that bit of time with somebody that's enthusiastic, it'll get paid back in spades. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's a really good point. And I think that's something that I think when we spoke to, I'm going to get into the big tool lad, was his name Will, when we went out on site with Will from, was it Will?
For the MK.
Yeah, the MK chat, stuff.
Your little brother.
Yeah, my little brother. He was flicking away at some cables. He said, I used to work with, I'm going to say his name was Graham, I can't remember.
It was Graham,
Yeah,
actually.
it was Graham. So I used to work with Graham. Oh, he was old. And I said to him, in hindsight, was that the best thing you ever did? He said, it was. He said he was slower than everybody else. You had to do it right for him. Yeah. He wouldn't have any rubbish. And we probably miss that now, don't we, as an apprentice? Because I got sent with old people. And when I look back, I think they were like 42, 43. And now I'm thinking that's incredibly young. Okay. But obviously when you're 16, 17, 18, you go out with this person that's got a family and responsibility. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because all the guys I wanted to go out with were playing golf at the weekend and they yet to have families and they were idiots. It would have been a really good laugh, but I probably wouldn't have learned as much as I did from the old timers. And they weren't old timers, they were 40 odd.
Well, the old timer I were apprenticed to, who worked for the same company for 51 years before he retired.
Wow.
The same electrical contractor. Yeah, Derek Robinson.
Did he teach you anything, Richard?
Taught me all I know.
Right.
You know what I mean? And,
I'm looking at that challenge wall.
quality.
Like I said,
look how tiny my cables were on that challenge wall. Quality.
Not all old timers.
As well as quantity.
So and this is, did he go on and have a long and successful retirement, did he?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. That's good.
Yeah,
No, because you often see people, don't you, that work for that long doing something that they don't get as many years as they should do when they stop working.
Yeah, well, he did 51 years, and well, he had 2 year breaks. He did his national service in Singapore.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Allegedly, these British back boxes over there.
He retired in 1992.
Is he still with us?
I don't know.
Okay, you kept in touch then. It was a good relationship you built there.
Oh, it's 30 years ago, isn't it? 1992. Yeah. But,
it'd be a fair age now.
Yeah.
No doubt. He'd be watching this. He's doing one of our CPDs.
But if you got chosen to be Derek's apprentice, you were chosen ones. You know what I mean? So he had all the good apprentices because he taught them. But he were converting the old steam mills into electric back in the days. So, know, three-phase star delta starters and direct online starters are newest stuff when it comes to three-phase motor controls. Yeah.
Brilliant. Is there as many of those people about now? No. Is our industry changed a lot? Yes. So
that brings us back to fully charged, and we said these electricians were coming on, look very comfortable pulling out a laptop to set up an EV charger.
Like, whereas we do it here every time. We did it with the Zaptec Pro, and it did just connect itself. Yeah, it did. But I take one step back and take a deep breath. Those people, that's the bit they enjoy, isn't it? They step forward, I've only got to do this bit in back office.
It's a different set of skills now, isn't it?
It is.
I can remember multifunction testers first ever came out. You put them out in front of an electrician and went, there you go, like, what's that? You're all robbing, your installation resistance, your looping impedance and your RCD.
Matrella's still got that.
3 separate testers, And you bring out a multifunction.
Do that when we're doing a software update on the Metrel 3155. Gary's shies out of the room.
More buttons than the Formula 1 steering wheel. Like,
some seriously, update, not necessarily on testers, but just software updates. Just you look at it and you think nothing's happening, and it's hours, isn't it, before we can do anything? It's just a world of pain that we have to go through. So that brought me nicely into the apprentice thing, and obviously mentioned Louis again. And I'd like to say on Paul's behalf, we got some time with Louis. I think you were on holiday on one time. We had Pegasus in with us before he got all that money.
With us, enjoyed himself in Pegasus.
And what a top lad. I mean, he deserves it, and he is a proper unit as well. I mean, he is a big lad. I mean, anyone who's got him
the talk as well.
He did do the talk. Has never done. He's meant to come in and do that race or let you down, didn't he? And he badly let me down at that moment. I've just about got over it. So perhaps we can get him back in. The offer's still there. Perhaps we can get him in so the world can see him. So perhaps if Louis watches this at some point, he'll come in and see us. Got any questions coming through, Gordon?
I've got loads. Someone's still got their silver box of Robin meters. So there you go. Apparently Australia, although they are former colonies, don't have the same back box. You'll have to look at what their back box is.
I don't think they have back box in Australia. I know a few electricians, when I played rugby, we went to Australia because we've got better climate and better rugby teams, and carried on doing electrical. And I think he said they don't have back boxes.
Right. Better system. I've actually heard as well, they have sockets where you just put the cable in and clamp it onto the cable.
Ooh.
That's what I have heard. They've gone beyond screwless terminals.
Gone beyond that.
For like IDC, but there's someone selling them on downlights on Amazon that do it. So, it was Yeah, we'll have to see.
We'll
Get
have
some
to look at
Australian
that.
sockets.
Yeah.
Someone's promised to send us a consumer unit from the Netherlands as well. They're screwless.
I thought New Zealand had the same as ours, because I once got emailed by somebody from New Zealand and wanted some samples of the sockets, and I said, "Oh, might be a bit expensive to send them down there." Few boxes to Kuwait.
Yeah.
So Kuwait must have the same back boxes as us.
Nigeria, I think they've got them there. Yeah.
But Belize, they'll have
Well,
the same.
Eddie was telling me he's got a friend, actually, some distant member of the royal family out in Nigeria has recently died and wants to send them some money. He's just got to
He's just going to send him his bank details. I love it.
Was that plasterboard? No back boxes, Darren Butler. What country is that one? Is he talking about Australia?
Yeah.
Australia, yeah.
No, they still have a back box. I thought they had a back box. They've got funny sockets. It's a cross between the American socket.
Well, American, it's all vertical. You screw the top and bottom rather than left and right, aren't they?
That's it. So cable Smith's got the M-leg down like this. They seem to be come from Australia. Yes, we did. Oh, he's got one. There you go. I've seen a video on it.
I'm trying to sort the batteries out on these things.
I think the actual twin socket with USB charging point was originally first invented in Australia.
Was it?
Yeah, by a company called Sockitz.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
When I got trademark, I only got British trademark. I didn't get international. And somebody in Australia. Oh, I like that trademark. Yeah. So the first ever USB ones which I saw was in Australia.
Yeah. Trademarks are good actually. It's a good way of protecting you.
Trademark's fantastic. I've got trademark splits, sockets,
splits or whatever they do.
Slights, which
slights.
Yeah. Well.
Have you got that trademark yet? Because I might do what's it called? The Apprentice, where he goes, "I've got the domain for this." It's hilarious when he does that.
No, trademark's fantastic, especially now with e-commerce. If somebody wants your product, types in your name, and it'll come straight up. Yeah, somebody might try and pinch it, but you just got to make them, aware of. Oh, sorry, you're infringing on my trademark there, and they suddenly change it very quickly. Yeah. Okay, it is great having a trademark.
Have we got anyone on, Gordon? Because I was a bit fearful at this time.
98.
Wow, thank you very much for 98 people who've given up their evening to do
People came in to see Rick start. They missed it, but obviously you can watch it on as soon as we're finished, blithering on. Yeah, you can probably.
I think you can roll the bar back as well if you're watching it live.
Because there's been a comment about converting. He wants to convert an old Bentley with a clapped-out engine to battery power.
Well, so well done. Yeah, no, I'd say that's a good thing. Yeah. Because I think you're adding value then. Because why try the painful experience of trying to find all those bits for the engine to make it as authentic as you can? Just how it goes. People will want a battery Bentley, won't they?
Clearly, electrical wholesaler.
Yeah.
Two of my friends who I race with, they've got the fastest electric car in Europe.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. Sam and Ollie Young, they own a company called Amtech. They do sell electric motors. They had a 1969 VW Beetle, which did the quarter mile in 8.9 seconds, race at Santa Pod. That crashed, so they've rebuilt it now.
Drums
all round.
They crashed it, because you're doing 150 mile an hour over line, an electric car, and I think somebody in America beat their record in a Tesla, but theirs were a 1969 Beetle, lovely car, and then now they've rebuilt it, but they've gone for the newer shape Beetle now, but it's all carbon fibre, and I think it's making its debut this year at some point, either at one of the VW shows. But Sam and Ollie Young, we call them. We're on.
What's that? Because that's their names.
DC4. Yep.
We call them Sam and Ollie because that's their names.
Yeah, Sam and Ollie. Yeah, but fastest electric car in Europe it was. Not road legal, but on the actual race, drag strip. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, it's good.
But conversions of vintage vehicles,
So they've converted the newer version. So when Volkswagen re-released the Beetle, they've converted that style of one, have they?
That style, yeah.
Yeah, that would be lighter, you would think, wouldn't you, than the original one?
Well, it's all space framed and everything.
Drums
but,
all round.
The old Beetle very quick.
No, it's when we've converted your car to electric.
Don't want to convert mine. Yeah, you have charging problems and upgrade problems, So I think I'll stay away from that until you've been the test guinea pig garden on that one. I think I'll stay away.
Tesla issues. So, you're not going to stick with Tesla, are you? But hang on now. Let's dive back into his world of misery on the Tesla. Now, he's had a lot of misery with the Tesla. He's had a lot of misery from me about your EV and your charging and your meter and all the rest of it. But of course, as always, Mr. Routledge goes into what effectively looks like a bucket of poop, and you come out smelling of the proverbial roses. Because in the meantime, has anyone noticed that the prices of used EVs have gone up considerably? And you've got a buy-in on yours, haven't you? Or a sort
It's
of
got to go
guaranteed,
back to the leasing company, yeah.
but you've got a guaranteed number, haven't you?
I've got a number, and the market number's higher than that.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Nick Ramo about.
Is it a little bit higher?
It's worth doing. Yeah.
Is it considerably higher?
It's worth doing.
So not only you've gone through all this misery that you're going to make money at the end of it.
Well, we'll see. The display's on the blink. It's got to be obviously. If someone's going to. If you send it back to a release company, it's almost like, don't mention the display.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not going to.
Somebody's converting the boat.
No.
Solar electric.
I thought Nick Ramo was going to take it off him. Nick's just gone, no. Yeah. He's had enough problems with his arrival. Is he on still? He's got arrival shares.
No, he'll be back in.
Is a good one for you. Nick Ramo, we love Nick Ramo. We saw him down at Fully Charged Live. Said to me, Gaz, I've got this battery-powered company. This could be the new Tesla. Brilliant. Yeah, they make buses. Brilliant. They make them in the UK. Great. I'm in at about an average of $13 a share. I said, right, okay. He said, but they're listed on the US stock market. And I just didn't want to ring up because I've got either a ringable broker, and I got rid of my app years ago because I just used to buy shares on a whim, and my wife promised me she'd leave me if I carried on doing it. So I didn't do the US thing, and then they went from 13 to 14, and you start kicking yourself. I've missed out on this. $15. And that's it. It's gone then, hasn't it? You know, there's 25% increase. You're going to let it go. And then they started coming back a bit. So sort of a recorrection, a little bit of a recorrection. All right, I had a little read into them. Didn't read great, so I kept reading. They've just just gone above, slightly above today. I haven't checked in the last hour, but they've just gone slightly above. Wait for it, folks. This is a tear-jerking moment. $2 a share. So Nick Ramo is down nearly 90% on his original investment. Yeah? Wow. He who hesitates wins for a change. So yeah, so they've
need a bigger stool.
Absolutely flat. And I met all the people at Fully Charged Live that had invested with him. Yeah, that was a great 10 minutes I had with them. So thank you, Nick.
How much a share?
They've just gone under $2 today.
How much did he pay?
He's got an average, I think he'll probably I think he's 90% down. His average is huge. He bought on the dip. He said to me, I'm buying on the dip. So he was buying in at like $9 and $10 when they were coming back. I think the dip's got a bit further to go. So I often send Nick Ramo a screenshot of how they're doing as well. He likes that. Keeps him on the look.
The only way is up.
Should have stuck with Bitcoin.
Huh? Oh, I don't know.
Cryptocurrency. Any other share stories? Leave them in the comments below. Nick Ramo's got a share story here. Never come up with a
Favourite
tip.
brand of tester, Richard?
God, I used to love the Robin back in the day, but then the Matrel came out with a multifunction, and I thought Mr. Gifford had won a Matrel at one point. I misjudged it, and I texted him saying, I'll buy that Matrel off you. I need a tester. Oh, I didn't buy it, Rich. I was winding Gary up saying, I want that. That's my prize, that Matrel tester. So, I was in the market for a Matrel multifunction tester, but Mr. Gifford, no, I didn't win it. But if there's any prizes going, or
Gordon,
anybody wants me to test one?
No, I mean,
you're a Fluke man when I first met you.
I used to love Fluke. Yeah.
What's changed?
Well, we haven't got a Fluke one here, so I've still got my Fluke one still floating around here. Might get rid of that actually. That could be a good apprentice giveaway, couldn't it?
Could be, yeah.
I mean,
tester amnesty.
I like the Metro. Actually, we had them when we're doing the Zactec one. I pulled back out the simple Metrel one, the 3125
BT,
the BT for Bluetooth.
Yeah, which I did a whole video on and never mentioned. I thought you brought that up.
Metrel aren't far from us, though. We're only at Normanton, aren't we? At Wakefield.
Yeah, they've moved down to Surrey now.
Have they?
Just a little bit further.
Epsom.
Yeah,
they used to be at Normanton.
They used to be at Normanton, Yorkshire, yeah. Oh, best things come out of Yorkshire.
Well,
that's near it.
Via the Slovenian factory.
That's near it because we're in Lancashire, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, Yorkshire.
Yeah.
No, we're not in Lancashire.
Yeah. So no, the 25 was all right. That was a reasonable tester. Yeah. Gary likes a Mega because it's got dials.
Well, we used to use a wind-up Mega for testing the pyros. I mean, insulated copper conductor, should I say?
Copper clad, isn't it, or copper covered?
Insulated copper conductor.
Yeah. No, the Mega's probably the staple of the. Of FE, I would imagine 80% of FE's got a Mega instrument in it. But again, having less moving parts is easier for students because you've only got to explain so many. So whereas obviously we like the Matrel one, it's like the iPhone. It is like the iPhone of the testers. But you imagine trying to explain to somebody, you've got to go through 3 or 4 screens before they actually get to the test. Obviously, that's an effort in itself. So I can see why people try to do it. A lot of flukes as well.
Nobody's brought out the test yet with a built-in printer.
Yeah, they did last April. They did that one. Also was a phone. Can't remember which day in April it was. Gets us into so much trouble. You've given us a classic for next year already. We've already got one, but that is an absolute classic for next time round. So
what is going to be the next big thing on the testing side then? Multifunction testers would do.
I don't know. Well, let's go back to BS7671. They're pulling back from testing. We're overdoing it, are we? So let's do the EV one. So I think the reason you test an EV charger is because you haven't got an EV car. So if you haven't got the car there at point of test, you can't even tell it's going to charge it. But if you use the RCD principle on it, we only have to test an RCD at 1 times AC, because you're really just proving it works out of the box. You're not doing anything else with it, regardless if it's a B type, you're not doing anything else with it. Could you apply a similar process to the EV? If you've got an EV car and you plug it in after you've done your electrical test on the circuit, how many more tests do you need to do? That's one for you lot. Again, I know people like to put it through its rigour of testing. That's great. Sometimes the car isn't there. If the car isn't there, how can you tell before you left it'll actually charge? You can tell a lighting circuit works by light illuminating, can't you? And a socket by something plugging in.
I mean, I'll give you one, that Zaptec charger, the Pro.
Yeah.
You can almost test it remotely.
Yeah.
Because we've got the little app, because it does phase rotation automatically for single phase cars. You can interrogate it, it'll tell you what electrical system it's connected to. Tells you the voltage, tells you the current.
Yeah.
And it's,
One of the holy grails that people have tried to do with the test is actually get the test results straight onto the certificate, either via, Mega tried to do it with their Bluetooth when they had that out there. Fluke have tried to do it with the apps that have come out. There's digital certificates that have tried to get other ways to try and talk to machines. Ultimately it's been really hard to get the circuits in alignment with doing the test results, and there's still a lot of futtering around to actually get the circuit, the tester results onto the certificate, and you find out you just as well, not actually bothering. It's just quicker to type in the test results straight into the certificate. But a lot of the test instrument people have been trying to get that functionality into digital certificates for a few years.
I've heard some people doing tests can actually do it remotely. They don't even need to go to the property to get the test results.
That as well.
And they drive. They can drive past and get them. Just need to look at the front windows.
It's like smart meters. You drive past the property and read it. You can do the same with testing.
I've heard somebody's designed a distribution board that connects to the Wi-Fi, and all the actual MCBs, RCDs, FDDs, do their own loop impedance test. And it will download onto the app what the test result is, so you can do a drive-by test.
Yeah, is this 1st of April again?
Firmware updates. So again, but then let's go back to that EV charger. If you've got a problem with that EV charger, surely that's where the test instrument comes into its own, because you'll be able to put the machine through those cycles to see where you've got a problem. So there's a balanced argument for all of these tests. I'm not an advocate of not testing. I'm not an advocate of over-testing. I think it depends what situation you're in and what test you should put the circuit through or equipment through at that time. So, so I'll stick with a Mega. What testers does Louis like using?
Well, he's on his start of his journey, so he's trying lots of different testers. The guys from Q were very kind when he first started out and gave him a KT63.
Brilliant.
They looked after him, so big up to them lads. The guys from Dialogue have also been really passionate about bringing in some of their new testers to market, and they're also British made. But I think that when you speak to any of the manufacturers, and they all are all salt of the earth guys and passionate about the products. There's pluses and negatives against them all, and I think it's just going to try to get one that suits you. At the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Rich, what's your go-to tester? What are you going to stick with? You're going to go with Mitrel now?
Mitrel.
Yeah. So I said earlier on in this, while we're looking for some more questions, I had a little tier today. I had some more kit arrive today. I'm on College Connections Friday, Monday and week Monday, and I'm down to Mid-Kent College. And we had our team meeting. We're about 4 a year, don't we? And we try and come up with something new and exciting to try and focus in as a business. And we come up with this time with the electrical weekly news, didn't we?
Yep.
That Joe's doing now as a podcast as well. So that was one of the things. But we went back in and dove into our College Connections, and I sort of said, what we're doing is absolutely brilliant. I think we had about 11 or 12 people supporting that at the time. Wago gave us a lot of kit to take in. We had some really interactive boards with physical product on them, and including Zaptec, didn't they? Zaptec could give us an EV charger for all these colleges. So imagine how difficult that would be to get in there, and they've got one that's a working EV charger as well. And he said it would be really nice if we could perhaps have some more stuff. So we put out our feelers, didn't we? So Robust came on. We'd done some Vegas, and we'd done the what else have we done?
Atlantic
Casinos themes. And
Macau.
we reached out to them. And they've given us some downlights. So I think there's up to 10 downlights. There's bulkheads. There's mains, LED strip, and a display board, all full of LED stuff. So students that haven't fitted LED downlighters or haven't seen the strip and that have a chance to experience those, brilliant. So that came on new on board. Matrell sent a tester for electrical science and principles that Joe recommended. Joe shot for the stars, didn't he? There was 2 or 3 in there. He asked for the best of the best, and Matrell stepped forward and did it. And then, you know, we've got Premspec are sending in electric heaters, aren't we, into those colleges. We're going electric hungry. But today, we'd asked cheekily for some extra stuff. Now, in the college I'd been to, I hadn't seen a surge arrestor, type 2 surge arrestor. I hadn't seen any A-type RCBOs. So therefore, I hadn't seen any AFDDs. And a big shout out to, first of all, William Monkton, and then following the team at Lasico, that they sent me a consumer unit. What was it, 10-way? I can't remember now. I think it was 10 or 12-way. Surge arrestor, breaker feed in it. I think I had at least 8 A-type RCBOs of all values and 2 32 amp arc fault detection devices to send into a college. So every college can change one of their testing rigs to actually have a board that reflects what it should look like in this country nowadays. And yeah, I got a little bit of emotional over that one. I thought that was absolutely incredible. So hats off to them. They sent 9 for the remaining 9 ones that we've got to go to. So big up to them. I know. Yeah, it takes a big arse, and it, you know, we shot for the stars and they come up good, so that's really good.
Well done.
Yeah, well done to them. I can hear the round of applause from the 5 people left on watching us. How many we've got left?
We've got 87 on.
We've still got 87.
Yeah, I think we'll. Yeah.
On that note, I think
we're done.
Yeah, so we've got a new ending to this. We normally do our ending, but we had a little word with Martin Lee, who's got a very similar version of this ending, but he modified his ending to be our ending. So let's bring Martin in. I've got to meet Martin down at Fully Charged Live.
Hello, I'm Martin Lee from the EV News Daily podcast, and remember one thing, there is no such thing as a calibrated arm.
What's he saying? Go on.
Look at this. I'll do that again in a minute, because they don't realise, these guests, that the mics are still live. Okay, so I love what they're talking about. So in amongst that, we had the great Martin Lee, and if you don't listen to podcasts, and I don't, I do now, I listen to 2 podcasts. I listen to Martin Lee. Do you listen to Martin Lee?
Yes, I
EV
do.
News Daily is absolutely brilliant. I've gone back, like you said earlier on, and gone back through his back catalogue and listened to his stuff. He is phenomenal. And also listen to Joe Robinson, who's equally phenomenal with his electrical industry weekly news. So hang on a second, he's got the daily EV news, and we've got
Electrical News Weekly, and he's got EV News
If you
Daily.
listen to the 2 of them, you might find that there's a whiff of things that he does really well that we've tried to borrow. And obviously, he's got an ending. He says there's no such thing as a
self-charging hybrid.
Right, and you noticed there that if you didn't hear Richard through that one, you noticed in there that he obviously did our ending for us that we do on for the live stream. So we're going to listen to it again. This is the great Martin Lee from EV News Daily, which I recommend you go along and listen to, and the rest of you shut up.
Hello, I'm Martin Lee from the EV News Daily podcast, and remember one thing, there is no such thing as a calibrated arm.
Fantastic. Thank you, Martin. Made my day. He sent me that over today on via Nick Ramo. So thank you. So that's it. So as far as we're concerned, that's the plug and socket fids. We've had the great Richard Brook from Dragon's Den. Which episode was it?
Season 17, episode 6.
Okay, for those who want to go back through the back catalogue. And our good friend of the show, and obviously whose son's also training to be an electrician, we've got Paul Elcock of the Dock Store. And you've kindly give everybody a 15% discount off the books, and that's for 24 hours. You get free tabs. You're going to, if people sign up for your newsletter, they're going to get some more discounts. So it's fantastic. So back in 2 weeks. Who we got next week? 2 we'ks' time, we've got JB.
Yes, we have.
We get to see bits of JB that we didn't want to see. Yeah. If we ever do an unedited version, wow. Yeah, it's, we got him. Are we coming back with the news at Penn? No, we're not.
Regulation Corner.
But it could be.
Could be pointless view.
Yeah, we had a pointless view for a while, and we've had a few points in, haven't we?
Yes, we
have.
have.
So we might be back with those as well. And also, whatever's happened in our electrical industry will be covered. So thank you very much. And Martin Lee's already done our ending.
And don't forget to tune in to Electrical News Weekly on Monday.
It is. It comes out first thing in the morning, doesn't it? It's available on all podcast platforms as well. Okay. So if Martin Lee wants to nick any more of our ideas, I know he's done over 1,400 podcasts and we've done 2, but there's a whiff that he's borrowed some of our bits as well. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening. Okay. And if you're watching it on catch up, you can't play along with any of the prizes we've just done either.